control. She has a plan already, and then she's in control of her life. And then she doesn't go through life as a victim. You know, most times we have plans, we have things that we already put in place. This is what's going to happen. This is what my life is going to be like. And then it doesn't turn out that way because of life challenges, of course. And then she doesn't go through life as a victim. She makes sure that she rises up, overcome everything that she has gone through, all the challenges. And so she doesn't feel so helpless. She doesn't feel helpless. She doesn't go through life passively. She's active. She rises above all the challenges and still turns out to be someone that has achieved something. So that's another definition for me. And then the next one is she's a person in her own right. We're talking about boss moms here. That means women that are married. Of course, you can still be single and be a boss mom, of course. She's a person in her own right. You know, there's this thing that, in our society around here, where if somebody is not married, it's more like, you need to get married so that you can feel like a person, or you can be a person. I know it's changing gradually and all that, but she's a person on her, she's a person on her own right. She's not being introduced because, or being seen as a person because she's connected to her husband, in quotes. She's a woman through her own achievement, her own effort. She's able to get something out of life. She's able to do something with her talent and come out successful. So that's who a boss mom is. And also, she's a woman who sets priorities. She has her priorities right. She knows what is important to her, her value system. She has a value system that she works with, irregardless of what somebody else may think. She has a value system and she sticks to it. She's not easily tossed about. And so she believes in what she's doing and she works with it. And she's a balanced woman. In totality, she's balanced. Every aspect of her life is going on fine. She's not suffering. She's not allowing any aspect to suffer. So that's who a boss mom is to me. She's a balanced woman, a complete woman. And also, another one, sorry, is that she knows when she needs people. She knows when to say no. She knows when she can't do it alone, and she's able to ask for help. She knows she's not a superwoman. She's somebody that knows she's strong, she can achieve. So she's not afraid to make people know that, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. I need your help. So that is who a boss mom is to me. Thank you
so much, Esther. I hope everyone has their jotter. Mrs. Murphy just showed us that she has her. Yes, so because you are going to learn a lot today. There's so many things. Did you hear everything she said? She said a woman that knows, because that one really struck me, a woman that knows when she needs help. Most of us carry issues on our head. You are the maid, you are the cook, you are the nanny, you are everything. Just say, I can do it alone. You will break down. So you need to know when to ask for help. Very important. I've written, and I even studied it on my book because I know how to do a lot of things at the same time without just say, I'm fine, and I'm dying inside. We need to know when to ask for help. It's not weakness to say you can't do something. It's not weakness. Yeah. That's his strength. That shows that I know this is where I can manage to. Somebody needs to take it from here. Thank you so much, Esther. So, second question. Do you think everyone can be a boss mom?
Everybody can be a boss mom, but like we know, it's not everybody that is going to be a boss mom, because one, we all have the potential to be a boss mom. We all have that potential, but because of maybe fear of the unknown, fear of going out there, basically it's fear that stops a lot of people, and the willingness to overcome that fear. A lot of women may want to do things, but because there's how society is going to see them, or they're afraid of what if I try and I fail, or I try, am I sure that I'm going to make it? A lot of things make people not to wake up or rise to the occasion to make sure that they achieve what they want to achieve. They want it, but they are afraid. They are not willing to overcome that fear. They have not taken the bold step to move forward. So a lot of people, everybody can be a boss mom, but not everybody are willing to take that risk. Not everybody are willing. Not every woman is willing to rise above the challenges of life to make sure she gets there. So that's it.
Yeah. So in summary, fear.
Fear.
And I think what I know we have this acronym for fear: false evidences appearing real, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
I said something a few days ago. I did a video. I said at times you are scared of what people will say. Meanwhile, you have not even tried to say it. Maybe if you try, you could just do it perfectly well. But because of fear, you're like, what if I do this? What if people laugh at me? You're giving yourself so many excuses why you cannot do it, and not because you are scared. Fear is a huge deterrent. So that's why many women can be boss moms, but they're not willing to step outside the box and overcome that fear to become boss moms. Wow. I hope we are learning. Books and biros in your hand. Okay, so Esther, when did you decide to be a boss mom? When did you imagine, when did you think that, oh, now I think I need to be a boss mom. I want to be a boss mom. I am ready to be a boss mom. When did that rema happen?
Okay, it's not a sudden thing. While growing up, I've always admired women that are strong in the sense that they are able to overcome whatever life throws at them, and they're able to make something out of their life. Some of them are not, they may not achieve so much big, but in their own little way, they're able to overcome those rough times. They are strong, they are able to achieve things, they are able to do a lot of things. I've always admired that in women. I've always wanted to be that. So growing up, I can still remember I've ventured into little things that actually some of them didn't come out well and all that, but I tried because I had a plan. I knew who I wanted to be. I wanted to be a woman who can influence her children, first of all, and the people around, to be a role model that somebody can say, oh, I like this, because I knew that without that, there's no fulfillment. So I always wanted to be one. And like I said, while growing up, I'd done one or two things, sewing, I've tried so many things and all that, until I joined this platform. That was when I saw it really coming out the way I've always wanted it to be, which is, of course, like I said, we are all a work in progress. We are still moving, we are still going on, and we are getting better each day through everything. As we keep trying, and we know what to drop and what not to drop and what to improve on. So I've always wanted to be that, and I'm getting there. I'm working towards it, and of course, I'm a boss mom in my own way, but I'm getting to be, I'll be better. So it has been something that has been there right from when I was growing up. I've always loved that. So it's not just a now thing, it's something that has happened through time, and it keeps getting bigger, unfolding, and better. So that's it.
Amazing. So she has always, I think Dynasty has his or her hand up. We're not taking questions yet. So we'll wait till after the session. So she says she has always been attracted to boss moms, people that are making things happen. She has also done fashion designing, and she has done so many things. So you can see she always had that flair, but this platform has blown it all up. So Esther, would like to hear your story in a few minutes. We'd like to know how your life was before you became a boss mom, now that you are a boss mom, and what future do you see for yourself?
Okay. I'll go back to my story, how I started. I finished, like I said, I've always wanted to be. I went to school. I studied human anatomy, and I did my master's also. At a point, I lectured a little bit in School of Nursing, and I wanted to transfer to university, but things, like I said, it didn't turn out the way I had planned. I had plans, but the plans didn't turn out that way. And for a while, I kept applying. while applying, I was still doing some little things. Like I said, I've done a lot of little, get my hands into this, into that, and all that. So I kept doing that for 12, for about 12 years. Oh, before I joined the platform, I did a lot of things, and I didn't get what I wanted until I joined this platform. Before then, I was always dependent on my husband. Of course, he was taking care of me. Some people may have said, oh, what are you looking for? What are you, you're comfortable, you're okay, your husband is taking care of you, everything is fine. What are you looking for? But I wanted more. I was not satisfied. I was not fulfilled, because I knew I was better than where I was. I knew that I had more inside of me. I knew I could do more. So I was not satisfied. I was not okay. Just keep receiving and receiving every time and all that. I didn't like that lifestyle. I wanted to be a woman. Like I said, I wanted my children to be my children's first role model. I wanted them to see me as the kind of person they would love to be. Because if we are truthful, there are some children that don't want to be like their parents. I didn't want that. I wanted my children to see me and they want to be like me. I didn't want it to be, because before then, I'll have to wait till maybe they come in and ask me, oh, mommy, I want this, I want that. And I'll tell them, wait till daddy comes. I used to feel bad. It was more like, it's, there was even a day, funny enough, there was a day I went to the bank with my children to get money. And then I don't know what happened. One of the bankers was talking to them, and they said, my mommy doesn't have money. That was so embarrassing. He said, my daddy has money, but my mommy does not have money. And so it also made me to see my life and really, is this where you want to be, Esther? Is this how you want to be seen? And so that was how my life was before I joined the platform, before I became a full boss mom. And so when I joined the business, I started growing, I started working. And another thing also that happened was since I got married, most times my husband is not always around. So I'm like the mother and the father at home. I'm always there and all that. I had to be there. And so, but I was able to get started on the business and work it out to the point where it was doing okay. And right now, as a boss mom, before my husband, he couldn't, there on every other aspect, I was okay. But when it comes to finances, there's nothing like he can't tell me do this until I get money from him and all that. But right now, you can actually ask me, do you have this? I need this. And that makes me feel very complete. It makes me feel like I'm adding something. You know, say money answered all things. Yes, you may have every other thing, but when you don't have money, you can't do certain things that you want to do. You are limited because you can't achieve that thing. So you have to be dependent. But right now, he can actually tell me, do you have this, which he knows I will have it. I need this. And then we are into, he does investments and all that. But right now we are doing it together, which also gives me joy. That when it comes to things that has to do with finances, he can actually come and, okay, this is what I want you to do this. I want us to bring and do this. But before you just take the decision, because he knows, call me till tomorrow, there's nothing. But right now, that has also made me fulfilled. You can actually help people around, you can actually do a lot of things without, and that also is a way that I want my children to grow up to see that even as females, they can achieve, they can be, like I said, a boss mom is somebody who is a person in her own rights. She doesn't have to, somebody does not have to connect her because she's married to this man. Oh, it's because she's married to this person. That is why in her own right, she can actually do those things. She can achieve a lot. So that is where I have been since I became one. And then in the future, I said already, my husband most times is not around. I'm with my children, I'm the mother and the father. So, and that has somehow limited me from doing a lot of things that I would have done because I have to, I set my priorities. I love family. and I'm not apologetic about it. I love the family. I love being around my children, making sure, because I don't want to, after making all the money and then I come back, I start going through problems and all that. I don't have a problem with somebody who doesn't have that as their own. We all love our families, I know, but I personally set them as a priority, the first one. And so I'm seeing myself in the future when they are all out, which soon it will soon happen, they will not be around. I'll have to be there watching and watching. I see myself going places, doing more, doing better things, doing bigger things. And soon, I know that will soon happen within a year and so. So I see great things. I see bigger achievements. I see myself going out to do more, to get more, to achieve more, and to be, to affect more lives, to touch more lives. So that's what I see for myself in the future. Okay.
I've told people to carry tissue. Told people to carry tissue. You know, there's nothing, when she was talking, I still having flashbacks. There's nothing as good as you contributing in the home. Yeah. As in that feeling is a very, like, when I hear people talk about it, I still get emotional because when they're like, okay, don't worry, let me handle it. And looks at you like, really? And at times, be like, don't worry, I can handle, because he knows that you can actually contribute, but don't worry, let me handle this one. There is not, that fulfillment, it is different. It feels different. And it's not just about the money. It's about the fact that you are capable. That you can afford to add something to the home. Ladies, sweet. Yes, you can. So our final question for you for now, how are you able to manage being a mom, being a businesswoman, and every other thing you're handling? How are you able to manage everything at the same time and not let anyone like fall through the cracks?
Okay. Like I said, I set priorities. I know what are important. I have my value system. I know these are the things that are important to me. And I make sure I set everything in their place. When it comes to the home, I make sure that I have said, as a mother, you have to do the cooking and all that, make sure the children are okay. I have to get that. I have somebody that helps. I get people to come and assist me to do one or two things while I know what I'm supposed to do. And then I do those ones. And I'm able to juggle all those things because I set my priorities. That's just basically their priorities. If it's not in my priority list, if it's not part of the most important things for me, I've already said, like I said, that my husband most times is not around. So I'm the mother, I'm the father. So I set the priorities. I know what I'm supposed to do per time and try to do it. I know when to say no, when the thing is not working, it's not going to fit in. And I won't feel guilty about saying no because I know that is not at that time. That's not important. That is, it may be, it's not urgent. It's not important, it may not be urgent, but I just know these are the things I'm supposed to do now, and I fix them. I have times for things. And then when it comes to, I talked about cooking, I have a list of what's every day so that I don't keep cracking my mind. This is what I'll start looking, oh, what do I do? As women, of course, we know cooking is a very, very big task. Thinking of what to cook and all that. So I have already for the week what I know every week. This is what I'm going to do. Just juggle, change it. So those things are there already for me. As in, I have a plan. I have a list for it. So that I don't start thinking when it's time. It's already done. So I plan ahead of time. I write the things I'm supposed to do. These are the ones I will do. This is how my time is. In the morning, I wake up, I do this. So I keep all those things and make them beforehand so that I am not stranded in any way. And also I can call for help. I can get, when I need help, I ask for it. You can use the help doesn't have to be just people. You can use things to make your life easier, to make it stress-free. You work smartly, not because you say, okay, I have the money, but I must do everything. You know this saying that they say, if you pound, that you have to pound the yam in the mortar to make sure that it's good, that if it's not pounded in the, it's not good enough. Or that using, what do they call each other one, that firewood cooking is sweeter, and all those funny things, which you can actually get machines that will make it simpler and easier and faster. So I get to do that so that I hate stress. I don't like cracking my brains. I don't like stress, because when I'm stressed, I start having all manner of things. So I don't like it. So I try to do those things, put things in place, set my priorities, make sure I work according to those plans that I have already, so that I am not under pressure. I am not stranded. So I try as much as possible to do that. And that has helped me. Yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not working 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 and all that. But it can be hectic. No, when you have to do school, you have to do church, you have to do a lot of things. I'm very involved in my church. And so there are lots of things that try to take your attention. And you know, when it's just you alone doing all that, you need help. So like I said, I'm not afraid to ask for help. I'm not afraid to ask people to, and if I know I can't do it, I'll tell you I can't do it, and a later or a better time or something. So I just know how to, I try to set my priorities to make sure that I do what is important at that time. And I plan ahead so that I am not under pressure, I'm not under stress. I plan ahead so that whatever I'm doing, it will come out well. And of course, I'm still working at getting better with it. So that's how I plan my time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I remember Mrs. Murphy talking about not having mortar in our house, right? Mrs. Murphy, you were talking about. Well, that's for me, yo. Me, I have a mortar. I like pounded yam with mortar. I think I have a skill. I requested for that mortar, as in, like, I personally requested for a mortar. I don't know why. I just like that pounded yam. If you come to my house, we meet mortar yam. I don't know that. As in, that is. I think that's the reason I stress myself for. Every other thing, I am not interested. But pounded yam, I love it. So, as in, she has said, ensure you plan. You know, planning. There's this saying that whoever fails to plan, plans to fail. Yeah, so if you don't plan already, your day is practically messed up, because you'd have said, oh, by 9 I should go somewhere. Before you know, it's 10. I didn't do that again. I was busy in the kitchen. That's why a lot of people cannot be boss moms, because you confuse yourself with so many things. You don't even know where you're going to and where you're coming from. Plan ahead. That's one very important thing she has said. A lot of people don't plan. You need to learn to plan. You have your Google Calendar, you have your alarm clock. I use alarms a lot. I have a lot of alarms on my phone, by 9, by 12, by 2. Plan, plan, plan. Thank you so much, Esther. So we'll be coming back to you later with some other questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary, for having me.
Can I hand over to you now?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Thank you very much, Esther. You're a very beautiful woman. I enjoyed your session, and thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. You know, that is what this whole session is all about, sharing our stories. And everyone has a unique story, so we are excited to have you here. Our next guest is Chinenye. I can see her looking around. Are you ready for us? Please unmute yourself. Whoever is distracting you, tell them it's time for boss moms. They should stay away for now.
I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. Lovely smile you have here. I hope we are ready. Anyone, if it's the tissue, if you want us to choke, we'll use the mouth freshener, whatever it is, bring it on. Okay. So, what is your definition of a boss mom? Who is a boss mom?
Wow. Okay, from my own side, you know, before we normally take it to career women, but now boss mom is more advanced. in the sense that it's a woman, a responsible, I put it, responsible woman who is financially free, or a woman who is responsible, that is carrying out an activity that tends towards achieving financial freedom. That responsibility there means a woman who has a lot of duties. Now, she is a woman that takes care of family. She is social, she is religious, she is a complete woman. When I mean complete woman, upon being financial free or trying to achieve financial freedom, people around her are happy. Her family doesn't suffer. Her husband, even if she's a single mom, people around her, her children, her relations, they don't suffer. You know, there is a difference between somebody is financially free or this person is busy, but the family or people around her are suffering due to the way her plans are. So that's why I put, she is a responsible woman. She is a complete woman. That's my definition of a boss mom.
Thank you so much. I love how you were able to keep to time and you gave your point, you made your point. So thank you so much. So in your words, and I love the fact that you said she is financially free, but you also mentioned that, or she is in the process. So meaning,
Exactly.
even if you are not financially free, but you're already making moves to become financially free,
Exactly.
then it means that, okay, you're already figuring out something, you know, you're already doing something. And that's a lot. So we have so many boss moms. So even if you do not have money yet, you're not financially free, you know, don't worry, you're still there. But very soon you'll get the crown well seated, you know, maybe the crown is still hanging, it's still dangling, but very soon it'll be well placed like Dr. Ivy's dreads. Can see how her dreads are well. Her dreads are well seated. Exactly. Okay, so can any woman be a boss mom?
Of course, my dear, this is a personal decision. Although now, you know, when I say anybody can be, it's a personal decision, because these days you can still see somebody say you can take the horse to the stream, but you can't force the horse to take the water. That's why it's a personal decision. If you want to be a boss mom, you can, but it must come from within. It must be something that you've decided I want to be. It's not something that somebody needs to push you or force you to, oh, you need to be a boss mom. No, it's personal decision. Yes, anybody can be. Just like you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, it's still a personal decision. It's just for you to figure out and agree within yourself, not when somebody is telling you, pointing it to you that you need to be. Exactly. That's just it.
Thank you so much. I love how you put it. It is a personal decision, because we have a lot of people, a lot of moms that are just working just for working sake. We have a lot of moms that are probably just jobless. They have nothing to do and they're just there. But we have people that have made conscious efforts to do what they love, to do what they are doing. And somehow, you know, they are making it work. No one is suffering. So I really love that, where you said it's a personal decision. So for those those moms that are here yet to be moms, and those of you that are moms and you're thinking of how you can become a boss mom, it starts with you. You have to decide, and it's not a decision anyone can force you into. Even if anyone forces you into, you'll be a frustrated boss mom, you know. So we need to remove that frustrated and leave the boss mom. That is where we want to focus on today. Okay, so when did you decide to become a boss mom?
Okay, my journey, this started 4 years ago. You know, I work with a private company, and my husband has been into oil and gas business. So there was a day, my upline, SD3 Chini, told me, she has been telling me to attend a business seminar. Because of my job, I was like, no, I'm busy, I'll be procrastinating, I'll be shifting. So the day I was able to attend this business seminar, at the hall, one of the boss mom, in fact, I will call her a boss mom because she's good. She said something. She said, look, whatever you think you have now, or whatever you feel you are controlling now, in few years, 2 to 5 years to come, it will mean nothing to the world. Let's assume you have $100 now, and it could afford a handbag. In 2 to 3 years, it can't even afford the belt, the handle of that bag. Your bills will keep increasing. Why? Your expenses will keep increasing. Why? If you don't do something about your income, maybe you're just having a fixed income, one stream of income, by that time, you'll be nowhere to be found. The thing was like, they poured water on my body. I was humbled. So I started thinking about it. I was like, what? Inside of me, I was repeating it over and over. I told myself, that was right there. I made a decision. I told myself, I need to do something. I can't just stay. I'm saying I'm working. My husband is into oil and gas. I'm comfortable. In a few years to come, that is not the kind of level that the world will be talking about. We are talking about people that you should have multiple streams of income. You should be able to move from active income earning to passive. And actually, what I was getting was active. What I was getting all the funds was just active. So after everything, I sat down there. I made my decision. I went home that evening. My husband did not sleep. I was just busy talking. I felt you were like, what has come over you? I said, you don't know. If I like, Holy Spirit has taken over. I'm on fire. Seriously, I'm on fire. He said, what is that? I said, this is what I'm doing currently has been active income. I want to move. I want a U-turn. I want to shift from here to start earning passive. Aside I have this thing inside of me right from when I was small. As in, I have this, I don't know how to explain it, but I have that urge to raise people, to help people grow. And I've thought of it several times. How do I do this? If I don't do something about my finances, about my income, how do I raise people in life? I have a lot of people that are also looking up to me to help them to get to some certain level in life. But you can't do this by just giving advice. It's olden days that those things work. You call somebody and say you are blessed, this one, you will make it. You need to support financially. After speaking on the grammar, you must do something. So thinking about all that, I started making my moves. I'm partnering with companies. I started seeking my ways to become financially free so I can touch lives. That was where my U-turn started. And since then, 24 years ago, but I think the story has been bad. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but I'll be smiling all the while. People around me are happy. I've touched lives. I've really touched lives.
Wow. So let me, there was something that, caught my fancy. She said her husband is into oil and gas. Most times we have a lot of women that just want to be comfortable with what is coming into the home. But like I always say, your husband's money, yes, it's our money, but there is a limit to how much you can do. Some of us have this inner fire that burns within us to help. But how do you go to your husband and say, I need 50,000 to help this person. Tomorrow, I need 100,000 to help this person. Like you want to help him spend his money, as in you want to help him help somebody. So there's nothing as beautiful as having your own money. You give as the Spirit leads. You get to obey instructions from God. So I really love that you always wanted to do that and you found a way to impact. And I think that is one thing our business also teaches people. It teaches, even if you probably do not have it in you, but at some point you will find the need to genuinely want to help somebody, because our business is a business of impact. You're always impacting knowledge. There is always something. You're making people become financially free. So I love that. Now, my next question is, I would like you to share your journey with us before you became a boss mom, and what future do you see? Okay. And also relate it with the long reach business, so people get to understand where we are coming from.
Okay, fine. Like I said, before I became a boss mom, I was always, in fact, I've been working, but salary, salary is just like a bribe to forget about your future. Because you will always come back, you will still be broke. You are working, but you always be calling on husband, please, I need this, I need that, I need that. School fees, you cannot even say, let you bring as in work money to support, that kind of thing. And that's not the kind of life I want to live. I like women that are independent, especially when it comes to finance. They are able to support hugely. Not just that, the kind of life I really want to. So all this while, I've not been living the life of my dream until when I became a partner with this company. And as I told you, it started from the day I attended that business seminar. That's why I don't joke with seminars. Even the one that's a Zoom meeting, if I'm not there, I'll always want to go back to read or listen to it, because that's where the turn out, my U-turn started. Seriously, I don't joke with it. Because whenever you listen to any leader, there must be something you get from there that will boost your spirit. So as I attended the seminar, I made up my mind that this is a journey I gave myself, but I gave myself 2 years. But my breakthrough came before 2 years. It was even within months, seriously. Because when I partnered with this company, initially I was like, okay, let me see how it goes. I started qualifying. The first trip was US. And when I qualified for US, people saw that, the thing was making sense to them, to me too. I was able to get leaders, get people to partner with the business. And from there, almost everybody I got, their lives were changing. That was what even moved me, because normally I could not come and tell my friends, come, let me pay your trip to US, to this country. When they partnered with this company, I was able to, they all qualified. And that was the joy. And that's the dream I told you about, that I've always had the dream of changing life. I want to touch people. I want to help people grow in life. So as they were qualifying, getting money, making it in the business, I was happy. Within this happened to 2017, 2018. Within that 2018, I was able to raise a lot of leaders. And the way I do, I control a team. I lead a team called World Champion. You know, champion, when you are becoming a champion, when it comes to wrestling, you must lift somebody up. So our motto is, we rise by lifting others. That's what we do. And that's what I train people. You must focus on lifting people. You must focus, your interest must be on growing people, making them grow. And that's what is helping us. And how do we do this? What we normally do is we like helping people solve their problem. We provide solutions to problems of people. Because we've noticed that even the rich people in the world, they are problem solvers. If you can solve problem of the world, you will be among the richest people in the world. That's what we noticed. And that's the trend we've been using all this while to rise. And even as a mom, that's what I'm using at home. I try to solve the problem at home, do for the children. What can I do? Because I feel everything about this life is sacrifice. What can you offer? That's what life is all about. As a boss mom, what can you offer? At home, what can you offer? And with that notion in my mind that I'm always there to provide solution, I'm always training my team to provide solution to. It helps. That's what we are using to rise. And from that date to today, I've had over 10,000 people that are under my team. Seriously,
Wow.
thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. So you were looking for few people to change their lives, and now you have a team of how many?
Over 10,000.
Wow, over 10,000. I wonder what else they can call duplication. That is what, it is so beautiful that all you just need to do is start. When you start, you don't need to know 10,000 people at once. You do not need to know 10,000 people. Just know your 3 people. Know the people after that. And the rest will be history. You will be, when people are praying, thanking God for their life, that prayer is getting to you because you told somebody about the business because you wanted to help somebody. Other lives are being changed. So we celebrate you. It is not an easy thing to have a team of 10,000 people. 10,000 is not 100.
Exactly.
10,000 is not 100. It is not 1,000. So we celebrate you. You're a superwoman. Thank you for being an amazing boss mom. So let's go to the next question. How are you able to manage your time as a mom? And how are you effectively able to run your business?
Okay, and there's something I even forgot to say initially.
Okay.
You know, like we say over 10,000 people. Do you know, I don't know more up to 20 people in that team. 20, wow. I don't know. As in the number of people I know are not more than 20. Others, that's the 9,980. I don't know that. Imagine. Sometimes I look at this, I say, what? This duplication is seriously, it even shocks me. I'm shocked too. How
so when people are saying, oh, I don't know anyone, I don't know how will I do a business when I don't know anyone? Chinenye is an example. Chinenye is someone we should look at. She's literally saying she literally knows just very few people. It's not even up to 1% of the people there, and she is doing so well, and so many lives are being changed just because she said yes, just because one person said yes. You never can tell the generations that will come, you know. So let's go back to the next question, to our question.
Okay. Right. Thank you for that question. You know, everything like the first speaker said is about planning. And like I said earlier, it's about decision. What is your motivation? What is your why? You know, when you are doing something, you don't have a strong why, you can mess it up. You can mess everything up. Now, I look at it, I have a strong why. I don't have a choice here. I must succeed or I succeed. So the only thing I have to do is that I need to plan my life towards achieving this. Now, I looked at my status. I'm married. I have 4 kids. Last year I had 3. Upon that, I must do well. I must do well. So I look at my why is even stronger than my excuses. Yes, because I have something inside of me. I've told you, I have this that I need to raise people. Now, I still have this feeling that I want to support my family. I want them to be happy being around me. You know, I told you, olden days, they say when people around you, just advise. These days, you must support. Even your kids, they are looking for something from your hands, not just their dad. Now, what has been keeping me is that I look at my reason, my why is stronger than my excuses. So now I have to pedal down on excuses and plan my way towards achieving it. I set my priorities. As mom, I have 4 kids. I can't allow my children suffer because I want to be financially free. I always set it. There are some times that you find out that it's not something you can handle. You employ somebody to help you. I do it. I employ somebody. That's why we're also making the money. You cannot just say, you are running everything, do the school runs, do the cooking, do the cleaning, do everything. Fine. If you can do it, good. But if you cannot do it, the only thing is about know yourself, know your capability, know what you can do. In my home, I have helps too. Everybody have their own work, assigned work. I have my kids, they have their own, what they do, the ones I do for them. In fact, everything is planned. Know your duty. You know your duty in school, everybody, even their teachers, they know me, they know how I do my own thing. You make sure that everybody, because like I defined boss mom. Boss mom is not necessarily only being financially free. You must be a complete woman. Being complete is that people around you must be happy. They must be happy. No one should suffer. If you have the whole money and your family is suffering, you are not a boss mom. If you have the whole money and no people around your generation, they're not feeling it, you're not a boss mom. So in my own, I set things. I set my priority. I know when I work. I know when, okay, this is my work time from 8 to 5. That's when I go to work. When I come back, anything about job drops. Even within that my work period, I know when to fix my business, when to call my leaders. I fix my time. And because this business I'm doing today is a business of building leaders. Building leaders. When you are able to build people, you are settled for life. Now, I know I create time for everything, because some people will say, there's no time. There is time if you want to keep time. If you want to create time for something, there is time. If that thing is actually important to you, you will have time. You will have time. Now, when I come back, I know when to attend to my kids. I know when, because I must give them attention. I know when to pay attention to them. I know what to do. I create my time. I know when to also fix seminars, do other things. I know when to travel. Like now, I'm on leave. I'm not working. I'm on leave. My children are home. So I need to be with them. So this period, we are all, for over 2 weeks, I've been at home playing with them, going out, traveling, just like that. Because I feel this is the time to do it. When they're on holiday, I should also be on holiday. They shouldn't suffer because I'm a boss mom. I'm making money. No. So that's one thing about it. And God factor too. I'm this kind of person. I feel everything I have comes from God. Me being in this, finding this company today is just God, because how it happened, I can't still explain how I'm growing in it. So I also make sure that my God, the godly side of it does not suffer. I put God first so that he will always direct my paths. I won't make mistakes because we are human. So that's the way I've been putting it. I set my priorities. I fix my time well. I know when to do which one, because if you don't plan it well, if you model it up, it will hook you somehow. That's just it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Sometimes I think of people, I'll just sit down and I'll just start thinking of Dangote, and I'll be like, how does he differentiate alerts? I know he has accountants and all that. How does he run so many businesses, and then you still see him on vacations? Because sometimes you see some blogs, with some scandalous pictures of him having fun in one country, from another country to another country. But his businesses are not suffering. Every day, if you're in Lagos, you see new trucks, like brand new trucks. So meaning he is delegating. The wealthiest people delegate. And sometimes we always feel, I want to do it all. I can do it all. I always love using this example of a farmer. You go to the farm, you know that, okay, you want to harvest, you have maybe 2 farms, but you want to do it by yourself. You want to be the one to dig, to make the ridges, you want to do everything. Meanwhile, you can actually employ people that will do all that, and those same people will still take care of other farms. But we do this penny wise, pound foolish. You want to keep all the money to yourself. I see it and I say it. When you have people, employees, when you have staff, people that you pay, you're also blessing people. It's also a ministry. You cannot be making all your money and then you just want to keep it to yourself. Yes, let's not forget that different homes have their styles and how they want to run their home. So not everybody wants to have a help in their house. But for those of you that can afford to have a staff, that can afford to help someone, please do it. Many times people say, oh, I don't have time. You have the time, but you're not just figuring out things. You just don't know how to prioritize and plan. Thank you, Chinenye. Chinenye she works, she's a boss mom, she runs her business. She has 4 children, four children. That's like a full-time job on its own. Is it 4 children, right?
Yeah, 4. Even twins, they made it 4. Yeah, twins.
So you can imagine, So kudos to you. Thank you for sharing your story. And she has a team of over 10,000 people. So meaning she has to lead. She has to be a leader. Like, wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you're a woman here, you are doing less and you do not have time. It's time to get a a sheet, a book like this, and list out all you do in the day and ask yourself, what exactly are these things doing for you? Because we cannot be hosting these segments every week after week, and then you are the same. You cannot remain the same. These stories are real life stories, so it has to change your life. Thank you so much once again. Over to you, Dumebi.
Tina, as usual, you amazed me again today. Like, I totally enjoyed. Honestly, I've learned a lot. A team of 10,000. Wow, with 4 children and a full-time job. So people thought that they were super women, but after listening to you, we are feeling like Robin, Batman's son. Like, we are just starting. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. It was an amazing session. Okay, so I'd like to invite Madam Joy Rich. I think she's here. Hello, Joy Rich.
Hello, Dumebi.
How you
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can't see your video on. Okay, yeah, I can see you. Hey, I'm so happy to have you here. Like, oh my God, you don't know how excited I am. Like, I'm like, oh, it's like seeing Michael Jackson. Do you get it? Oh my God, I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for accepting to be here. You don't know how many lives you have touched so far with your story, and I'm so happy so many people are going to listen to you live here for free. Like, ladies and gentlemen, you are blessed to have Joy Rich in the building today. So our first question for you today: who, in your own words, is a boss mom?
Thank you so much for having me, Dumebi. It's a pleasure for me to be here this night. I am not taking it for granted, and thank you to our SD and also your co-host, Mrs. Murphy, and everyone watching us there. Now, I have one advice for us. Please, as you're listening to all these stories, do not listen with only your ears, listen with your heart. And do what? And try to take action and try to know where you are not getting it right and try to balance it. The first question is, who is a boss mom? By my own definition, a boss mom is that mom that is actively balancing the role of a mother and also a role of entrepreneur. A boss mom is that mom that have understood her temperament. A boss mom is that mom that is ambitious. A boss mom is that mom that is self-driven. A boss mom is that mom that is outspoken. And a boss mom is that woman that multitasks. That is my definition. Thank you. Hello, Dumebi.
You know what caught me? Yes.
Okay.
You know one thing that actually caught me in everything she said, which I'm not sure anybody has said before, somebody that understands her temperament. You know, ladies, there are sometimes they'll say it's her period, time of the week. Many women, as in like, they always say that women flare up when they are close to that time of the month. But a boss mom is somebody that has understood. So, you know, if you understand that time of the month, you might flare up. What do? You try to control yourself. I'm also learning, like I'm learning that, because we all know how it is now. Everything just tends to irritate you, like you're just irritated as everyone. But when you can understand your temperament, and of course you work around it so that you don't just flare up at anybody, then you are a complete boss mom. Fantastic, Joy. I told you it's going to be hot with Joy, so he just, okay. So Joy, can everyone be a boss mom? Do you think everyone can be a boss mom?
By default and by God's creation, everybody's supposed to be a boss mom, but everybody is not a boss mom. So the answer is yes and no. By default, we are supposed to be a boss mom, but everybody is not a boss mom. Why? Because some women have decided to do what? To take up the challenges that they are going through, to keep them down. Some women have decided to take excuses into their hands. Some women take children. At times, when you use your children as an excuse, it makes me laugh because children are supposed to be your gift. Some of us, what is driving us today is our children. So why will you use the God-given gift as an excuse? Some women, fear of the unknown has kept them down. The things that they have heard have also kept them down. That's why I said everybody is supposed to be a boss mom by creation because God created us. Women have shock absorber. Some things that women are going through, if an average man goes through it, the person will die. But you will see a woman being pregnant, she's carrying one on the back, she's cooking, she's on the market, she's doing, wow. That means you're supposed to be a boss woman, but everybody is not a boss woman. Thank you.
Excuses and fear. These are the same reasons that keep coming up over and over again. No man will say because of children, I've had children, no, that's what I'll be doing now. That's all I want to be doing. Many people have resigned from their jobs and stopped every business just because they have children. And they just sit at home waiting for their husband to give them 5K for hair every month or 2K for. So ladies, you can actually be a boss mom. All of the excuses, can you pack them and throw them in the trash? Throw them away. Your excuses might be valid, but they are not actually worth it because those excuses can actually make you money. Joy Rich has said it all. So, Madam Joy, when did you decide to become a boss mom? I'm sitting well for this one. When did you decide?
Okay, should I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. When I decided to be a boss mom, I've been a boss mom as a growing child. I think I know that because I am from the average family. We are 10 in number. My mom is a farmer, a giant farmer. My mom of blessed memory, she's late now. My dad has been a civil servant but retired, but we had 10 of us. He's an educationalist, and he said, in as much as I'm a civil servant, I will make sure 10 of you go to school. Now, check out a civil servant that is training 10 children. From secondary school to university, you know what it means. And my dad said, I'm a child of prophecy. And as a growing child, I started to see that. I behave quite different from my siblings because I'm one person that needs more. Why my father would take me to, to school where he can afford, I'll be pointing at another bigger one. And he will keep telling me, my daughter, I won't be able to afford that. Though I'm not a troublesome child, and I listened, but I told myself, even as a little child, I told my dad, you didn't take me to the school I desire. Me, I will take myself to a good school, not here in Nigeria. I don't know how it came about as a child. I keep telling my father, until my siblings, they started calling me Joy International. They call me Joy International. International. So that took my name, Joy International. And I tell you that whatever thing you desire and you work towards it, definitely comes to pass. So we started, and I got married. And at the end of the day, the family fell into some crisis. And I have 4 children. That made my children, for us to withdraw them from the school they are to one local school. That particular incident made me have almost hypertension, which I didn't know myself for 2 days. 2 days I didn't take my bath. I didn't know myself until after 2 days. They called me, Somebody tapped me. You're here feeling bad because your children were withdrawn from school. Do you know that your son that is 16 years is almost having hypertension because the math was shifting? You know, that shock came. Removing them from the school they are to one local school, a community school where they are. And I told myself, I stood in the mirror and I called myself 3 times. I said, Joy, you are more than enough. Yes, it's happening now, but it cannot happen forever. That's when I took my decision. As at that time, the family, my life was on 0 level. Fine, I was working, but as a civil servant, how much is the money? We have already borrowed money. I've been in debt because before the salary comes, it's already dead on arrival. We know that. The salary is even below 100,000. So, and where we're staying, transport alone will take close to like 20,000. So what is the money all about? So I was on 0 level. On 0 level at that point, but I took my decision. I was on that level where you go to the market with like 5K. Inside that 5K, gari is there, soup is there, the provision that children will take to school is there, 5,000 naira. I turned mathematician. I was at that level where I will cook. When I'm cooking, I'll be inviting the Holy Spirit to make the soup to be sweet. Because there's at times you cook, the children will look at the soup and they will tell you they will not eat. And when your children are not eating, what happens to you? That alone will bring you psychologically down. So you will invite the Holy Spirit. I've been on that stage where the one that is remaining is the one that the children will eat. Then the one I will eat later is the leftover. We've been on that stage. But I took that decision. I said, no, I know this thing is happening just now, but it's going to change. That's where I took my decision. I said, no, I have to change the narrative. I have to do something, and I know there is something one can do now before I clock up to 50 to 60 years. So that is my journey so far. Thank you, Dumibi. Thank you. Dumibi, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I told you to be ready, that we have amazing stories. Did you guys hear that? When you take 5,000 naira to the market to cook soup and buy provisions, everything, do you know the mental torture she will? No. We still want to hear more from you. We still want to hear more. I can see that my internet connection is unstable. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So our next question for you, you've answered some of it, but want you to tell us in detail, share your journey with us in relation to this platform that we all are now. How were you before you became a boss mom? Now you are a boss mom, and what future do you see?
Okay. I told you that when my children were removed from the school they are, in fact, I was off for like 2 days. So looking for alternative for my children has been a concern to me. Now I know how much school fees and how much of the school fees, 500, common 500,000 for 4 children. That's what we couldn't pay. I'm calling it common now because I know I can match that. Common 500,000 naira dealt with me, almost gave me hypertension. Now, when I came in contact with this amazing platform, it was too good to be true. Why did I say that? My upline, I love her so much, and I hold her in my womb of prayers because she's a lifesaver. She allowed herself to be used by God to change destiny. Her name is Ekene. I talk about her anywhere I go. She came for one seminar. They invited her. I think in that seminar, we're about 1,000. She came, she presented the opportunity. What she said, because there was no time, she gave us what is in for me. She mentioned all the monies that you will get. It wasn't my interest because I know within me, it wasn't true. How you can get 25,000 naira, how you can partner with the company and you earn a 7-figure. Wow. I say, But what caught my interest was scholarship. Why? Because that was what I was suffering as at that time. She now said, do you know if you partner with this amazing company, that this company will be able to train your child, scholarship, all expenses paid, abroad, come, you see? It matched what I was looking for. As at that time, I wasn't looking about the money. I wasn't interested in the money. It was a scholarship. When she finished, I quickly rushed to her. I said, okay, come, please. I have not done network marketing before. Please, people should get me. Because some people say it's because you've then done network marketing, that's why you're succeeding. I have never done network marketing before. Long Reach is my first and it's going to be my last. Now I called her, I said, please tell me the truth. Is it true that this company can take my child? I have 4 children and school fees has been a problem. School fees has been dealing with us. So can they train, even though it's one of my child in university? She said, yes, ma. I said, how do I go about it? She said, Google it. She told me everything, Google it. I went home, I couldn't sleep. And that morning, before I went for that seminar, I went to church and I was praying. See, God is involved in this business and nothing can bring me down. I went to church and my prayer in church is that God have mercy and show me a better way. I was walking, I've been walking when I'm going through all this. So I said, God, show me there's a better way to what I'm doing. It's not salary. The salary cannot even take me home. And when Ekene told me about this, I said, God, could this one be what you're sending to me? And Ekene told me, go and do your research. Google is our friend. I went home. I didn't sleep. I started researching. I called her again after like 1 week. I said, Ekene, let me know. Just show me the person that have succeeded on this platform. She took me to Zina's office. And then she was in Port Harcourt at GRA. And there's one interview SD did, is in her office there. I went close and I saw the interview, how she has qualified for brand new car. Jesus, I've not driven brand new car before. Wow. Would it be possible? She has qualified for cars, money. The money, I wasn't interested. Then the icing on the cake was when SD funded, she turned SD1, came to Port Harcourt, and they said, this woman has gotten the scholarship. What am I doing? I met her close. I said, ma, they say you've gotten the scholarship. She said, yes. And I gave in. I said, whatever thing it will take for me to get the scholarship. Mind you, I wasn't working towards the car. The car wasn't my concern. The money wasn't my concern. The scholarship was my concern. Now, and I started working. Anytime anybody sees me, as I'm working towards getting scholarships for my children. Guess what? Do you know that in the course of working towards the scholarship, I've not gotten the scholarship yet because I'm not an LC. Do you know that I am now able to pay school fees for these children? I am not able to pay school fees. I can now go to the market, supermarket. I don't go to market again anyhow. Walk down to the supermarket, buy things more than 100, 200,000, and I bring my card, I slot my card, and I pay. This is somebody that goes to the market with 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira is gari, soup, provision, children biscuits to school. Come on. It can only be in Long Beach. Thank you, Dumebi. Let me not talk too much.
Hey, God, hear what she said. She said, God is in this business. I'm sure everyone on this platform will agree with that statement because number of lives that have been changed, it can only be God. Before we start preaching, as in like, it can only be by the grace of God that this is happening to so many people. You hear her, from taking 5,000 naira to buy food, maybe for the week or for the month, she can go to not even markets again, no. Not the market now, we have where they sell tomato and talking. You don't need to go and sweat in the market. She will swipe her card, pay and walk out. Oh my God. God has done this for us. God has done this for you, Joy. Like your story is so amazing. Like I'm so touched. 5,000 naira for food and provision. How much is Milo self? Like, how do you even want to start calculating it? You must understand mathematics to use 5K to go to markets. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our last question for you for now. you have 4 children, and I know when you started this business, you had a job. I don't know if you still have the job. I don't know if you still have the job or how it's going. But how are you able to manage taking care of your 4 children, taking care of your team? Because I know you have a big team now. You're growing very fast and you're achieving a lot. How are you able to manage everything at the same time?
Okay. Yes, I still work. I'm still with the state government. I've not retired yet, but I know something. I know the 2 steps of time management rule. One, it says, plan your day to achieve your goal and keep to your plan. I know that too, and I've been following the processes. Now, how I manage my day, my children, and my work. First, for you to manage your work very well, you must know what you're doing. And the kind of job I do is tax job. I'm in tax department. I've been one person that whatever thing I want to do, I give it in. When they employed me 14 years ago, I subjected myself in learning. For like 3 years, I was under somebody's tutorship, and I learned tax work. In fact, I know tax work to my teeth. And also, I'm an auditor. I audit. So I know it. Even though you call me as I'm sleeping, I can calculate tax for you and send to you. The way I took my tax work, that's the way I took my language job. I do my tax work as if nothing existed, and I do my language business as if nothing existed. Now, how I marry them, I do pre-plan. I pre-plan. And for you to achieve on any platform you are, for you to achieve success, you need to trade off on certain things. So I looked at the things that are not necessary, that are not relevant. I did what? I have to shade them off. It has been helping me, and I do what? I define my time limits. Time limit is very important. If I'm to meet you as a friend and we're discussing, I have something to do with you, I have my time limit. I don't exceed that my time unless we are talking language. It's when we're talking language, that's when I cannot exceed my time. Yes, you can take my whole time. But if it is not language, man, I know my time limit. Then the next one again I do, I prioritize my work. Before I joined language, I used to tell myself that I don't have time. I don't have time because at times when we go for audit work, we can stay for audit work for the whole day. Then when you come back, you start arranging the documents, I've seen myself that I don't have time. But do you know that is a lie? Nobody is too busy in this world. It is just a matter of what? Priority. Nobody is too busy. It is just a matter of priority. It was when I started this language and I knew that I'm not too busy. In fact, I'm not busy at all. Because when I started language, if we have seminar in Port Harcourt for 7 days, Joy Rich is there 6 days. So where is the time coming from? So what I do, I prioritize my work and I set my daily goals. I set my goals daily, weekly, and monthly. That helped me. I eliminated distraction and I focused on the things that are important. Some of my friends said, Joy, you are not close to me again. Not that I'm not close to you again. If what we're discussing is not important, I do what? I will leave you. So I eliminated distraction. It helped me so well. I eliminated distraction because if you are the type that wants to talk me down, I will crush you and I move. We have so many. I didn't listen to naysayers. I only listened to what is positive. Some people say, I've done network marketing, it didn't work, language has not worked, it's not working for me. I'm not listening to that one. I'm only listening to the one that is working, and it has worked for me. So I eliminated distraction. That is how I was able to manage it. Thank you so much to maybe.
Thank you
and what
so
the
much.
future holds for me.
Yeah. Sorry?
What the future holds for me.
Yeah.
The second one is what the future holds for me, not only me and my family. Now, I'm one person that loves traveling. I can travel on air, I can travel on sea, I can travel on road without blinking my eyes. If I'm traveling on sea, I can even sleep. That's to tell you how I love traveling. If I'm traveling on air, this other plane will shake. People will be shaking. Joy is sleeping already. Why will I die when the death have not come? So I'm already sleeping. So I have loved it and I didn't have the time. There was no opportunity for me to do that. In fact, as a growing child, before I got married, I traveled only once from Port Harcourt to Lagos. And before I travel, I have to save money. So traveling has been one of the things I desire in life. And look at it, it's happening here. So what is the future holding from? The future is holding a better life and a better future. A platform where we'll retire and we'll retire to ranch. Go with holiday, use your money and enjoy good life. Thank you so much. Maybe.
I wish I could just leave you keep talking because as in like you are motivating me so much. I hope we're all taking notes. You need to plan, eliminate distraction. See, all those people that will tell you it doesn't work. See, they are deceiving you. Trust me. They are the people that you should even chase from your life because they won't allow you move forward. If you want to travel, you will travel higher. Which country do you want to go to? We have the country here for free of charge. Thank you so much, Joy. We'll come back to you later with some other questions. Right now, we hand over to Mrs. Murphy with the glow. Well, speak our next person.
Okay. She said, Mrs. Murphy with the glow. Thank you so much. Our products, they make us glow. They make our accounts glow. They just give us this shine. So it's inevitable. Wow, what an amazing session, Joy. It was, in fact, I wasn't sure whether to cry or to laugh or to shout. I was just hit by different emotions. You know, your story is really inspiring, and I know that so many people can relate to it. Like, many of us have suffered lack. And many of us are now at the point where we know what it's like to have. So for those of you on this platform that are still experiencing lack, that you still have to cancel, you write list, cancel. When you're cooking, you're begging the Holy Spirit to make the gari swell up. Don't worry, just keep pushing. All you need to do is plan. Put God at the center of it all. Plan, do the work, and you will eat the fruits. Because many of us are not planting. You are not planting, but you're looking for the apple. It doesn't work that way. You have to. This session is about, yes, boss moms. They've not been able to tell you that they actually put in the work to actually enjoy what they are enjoying now. So get ready to plant with us, water the plants, and watch your plants grow to an amazing fruit. Thank you so much, Joy. It was amazing. So our next speaker, our next guest is my amazing super grandma. She's my she's my great grand star director. Esdizina. Where is Esdizina?
I'm here.
Oh my
Hello,
God.
guys.
Oh my God. I'm sitting, but I have to dobale. You know, I have to dobale to greet you, my SD.
See me dobale to receive the greeting.
No, okay. Please don't dobale too much. No, I cannot disrespect you, you know. Wow.
How are you, Mrs. Murphy and maybe you guys are amazing.
We are doing great. Thank you so much. Honestly,
Okay.
I've already brought out, I know your story has always been an inspiring one, an emotional one. I cannot wait for you to share it with the world. My handkerchief is ready. We are ready.
Are you planning to cry?
I'm ready. Anyone you give it, anyone you give, we're ready to take it. Okay.
Thank
so good
you.
to have you, Ma.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you always.
Thank you. I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. So let's start. Please define a boss mom. Who is a boss mom to you?
Wow. Again, thank you for having me here, Maybe and Mrs. Murphy. I love to call you your Igbo name. I love that name, but Mrs. Murphy for the sake of all of them here.
No, Uche is fine. Uche is good.
And thank you to Dr. ID, SD Dr. ID, for you guys are amazing for initiating this move. I mean, I'm sure you guys didn't think it would be like this. I'm sure you didn't think it would be like this. I mean, God has taken this thing from, whatever you planned to something else. And I tell people, if they don't watch any of these episodes, I mean, people should watch all 5. It's a sin not to watch it, actually. I think it's a sin not to watch it, because this amazing thing that you're doing here, it has really, really helped a lot of people. Personally, it's helping me. I watch it, I rewatch, I go back to listen to all the people that spoke, and all the stories shared are all amazing. So thank you for having me. And thank you to the speakers, the people that spoke ahead of me. Thank you to the first speaker, Esther. Esther is a very amazing, glowing lady from Uyo. I've always, known her to be one serious-minded person like that. And then Chinenye, she will soon be an SD. I love that woman so much, and their stories are also amazing. And of course, my own Joy Rich. I mean, that woman, I am now posing with her like, I'm sure some people will be like, waiting for your own self. The way I pose about her, because she just reminds me so much of myself. When you see what you are saying being done, it really makes you feel so proud. And that is another amazing thing about this business. If I had taught her how to sew, and she begins to sew and she begins to do well, and her business begins to grow bigger than mine, there will be that, oh, she's taking my customers, right? But in this case, this business allows you to flourish. And even when you bring people under your, team, they begin to grow. Overtaking, like we say, is allowed. You are happy, genuinely happy for them. Yesterday, someone reached out to me and said, I've been prospecting him for some time. And he said, Helen Ranta just signed me up. I was like, wait, that's good. If it was the other business, you'd be like, no. If it was a traditional business. So that's another amazing thing about that business. Anyways, so thank you. You asked me a question.
Yes.
Who is a boss mom? Well, a boss mom, in my own sense, is someone who is not ready to take no for an answer. A boss mom is a woman who decides what she wants and goes for it. A boss mom is someone who is not ready to settle to status quo. Just take it as it is. You are a woman. After all, I'm just a woman. A boss mom is not that. A boss mom is not a woman in quotes. A boss mom is, this is what I want. This is how I want it. And she's going for it. A boss mom is that woman who has that clear picture of where she's going and what she wants, and she's ready to get her hands dirty to get it done. A boss mom is someone who has nailed her excuses to the cross of self-determination and self-motivation. Because you cannot be a boss mom with all your excuses. You have to nail them to the cross of self-motivation and self-determination. Leave them there and you go and get what you want. A boss mom is a woman who is not scared to be different, who is not scared of what my friends will say, who does not owe her life to anyone, who lives her life unapologetically, unequivocally. She is like, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I want to be. That is my definition of a boss mom, because that's kind of who I am.
Wow. Thank you so much, Zina. We can even just close as we'll just say church and basa, like let's just go home and say the grace, but we want to hear more. We want to hear more. So one thing all our speakers have said in common is that a boss mom is one that does not make excuses. Not like she cannot make them. She can if she wants to, but she has gone past that. When others are making excuses, she uses it as a reason to move forward. So everybody should be doing soul searching this night. Are you a boss mom? Do you want to be a boss mom? Are you the type that you would say, oh, it's raining? I remember this morning I wanted to work out. I wore my dress and rain started falling. And I told my husband, we're going to play in the rain. And he was like, let's do it. And the kids were excited. They said, Mommy, we want to join you. And they joined us, go to bed and cuddle and sleep. So at every point in time, you can decide how the outcome you want. Do you want a result? Then you have to work towards it, come rain or shine. No excuses. So my next question is, can any woman be a boss mom?
I like the way Joy Rich answered the question. She said, by default. So we were made in the image of God. Being made in the image of God is much more than tying headscarf and appearing pious. It means you are powerful. It means you are strong. It means you can do anything. So every single one of us, man, woman, we are made in that image of creativity, meaning that we can do anything. So yes, everybody should actually be a boss mom, but not everybody will eventually be because of personal reasons. Let me put it that way. People have different reasons why they are not boss moms, and that is only leaning towards what they really want. So not everybody will be a boss mom, but everybody can if we all want to be. Yes, depends on what you want.
True, I totally agree. Thank you so much, ma'am. So when did you decide to become a boss mom?
Oh, wow. I should say I was made like this, but it is follow up. I've always wanted to be, I've always wanted my own thing. I've always wanted to have enough. Growing up in a family of 8 children, it's difficult to have completely everything you want.
True.
So when I was a kid, my mom, I started selling granules when I was in primary school. That is how much I wanted to have my thing, what I want, you know. I told my auntie to teach me how to fry, and she taught me how to roast granules, and I started selling in primary school. Then when I went to secondary school, I said, since I can do that, so I told my mom, buy me banana bunches so that I can start selling. So I will carry, when my friends are going to school with too bad, so I'm carrying a tray of bananas. The woman just couldn't help me. I'm carrying a tray of bananas on my head to school with the granules to sell. During break period, I'll go to the market session and sell to my teachers and some students and admin. So I'd always wanted to have something. I remember one day my mom called me and said, your dad is worried about you. I said, why? Said, because you never ask him for anything. I said, because whenever I ask, he said he doesn't have. He will say, he has to count. I will do for this person, I will do for that person, you have this. So when I go to you once or twice and I don't get what I want, you just tell me, okay, wait, maybe later. I remember asking my dad, I wanted a hat, just a hat. He said he doesn't have money to buy it. I said, okay. He said, you don't have to pay your school fees, I have to do this. So I stopped asking him. So when my mom told me, I said, no, because he never has anything for me. So I don't bother asking. So I grew up like that. But one decision that made me say I was mom is because when I watched my mom growing up, always wanting to start a business. But my dad would always pray on her business. He was this man that said my wife shouldn't do anything. She should be at home. And then, but he was a contractor. So sometimes we'll have money, plenty money. Sometimes there'll be no contract, so we'll not have. So we grew up like this. Sometimes we are very rich, sometimes we are very poor. Very. So my mom learned to augment, like started businesses, different businesses. Whenever she starts it, my dad will stop it. If he cannot stop it, he will borrow money from her. And then that business will go. You won't pay back. So she'll start another one. And she could start business with nothing. She was that person that people trusted with anything. At the time, she went into farming. So when he relocated us to the village, my mom would go and buy farmland or rent farmland for the season and get farmers, people to work for her, workers. And she will have plenty harvest. So the guy was always on her case, and the woman was not able to shut down. Like she will always start something, he will come and pray on it and stop it. And so I was like, no, that will not be me. because I'm like, why are you with this guy that is doing like this and you're still, so. But one thing that woke me up, I've always worked and done businesses. I've done so many things, baking, selling. I had a store where I was selling frozen food. I had jewelry business, I had boutique. Name it, there's hardly any business you mentioned that I don't know anything about. Even iceberg machine, I had one. I had so many things. Had so many things. So wow, the one that really kind of turned the hand of the clock was when my husband lost his job. 2007. 2007 came with what they call basbos for me. Started 2007 with the loss of my baby. So I was dealing with that. I had to go for surgery. So I was dealing with that. My mom died of cancer. As I was coming back from her burial, my husband lost his job. So the thing had affected our finances, our savings, and in fact, we had to sell shares and all that. So I plummeted down with 2 cars. I had 2 cars. I had worked. I had an official car when I was working. I resigned and dropped the official car. I had my brand new car. But when this thing happened, I started my store. I had bought the ice block making machine for my mom, but she couldn't do the business. She died. So I recovered everything and I started set up for the business. When my husband lost his job, 2007, I entered street. As in, I had 3 people in the university, my younger ones I was training. I entered street, as in I would go to beggar to hawk ice block. Was that bad? I put my ice blocks in the car. By 5 a.m., I've left my house. I drive to beggar. If you know Lagos, beggar, to go and sell to those people that sell drinks for travelers coming in. I will tell them, they can bring it now. I'll carry it and go. One time, my younger ones came from school. There's Diola and Uchenna. They were in school. They were in my house for holidays. They followed me to what I was in. They came back. They were quiet. What I was doing to send money to them in school. I went on low court because my younger ones were in school. Because I calculated the 5,000 naira to make my hair. Why should I make my hair? My sisters, I know what that money will do for them in school. So I said, no cut. And then I fell in love with it and I never bothered. I don't go to salon. Now I can afford it too, but it just became my lifestyle. So I was at that time, at my lowest ebb, with the loss of baby, loss of mommy, loss of everything, so recovering from surgery. One day, my sister-in-law came to my house at 8 a.m. in the morning. I had already had my bath. I was packing. I'd finished selling the beggar one, came back, taking my bath. I was now preparing to open my store for people that will come and buy fish, meat, and all of that. She was like, by this time, my husband said, you don't understand. She has already been to beggar and back. By 2 a.m., he's sleeping. I will sneak out of the house, go to the store, because it was inside the estate. Go to the store. If they take light, to go and harvest the remaining ice blocks, the ones that are formed, to put them in the freezer. So I understand. When I tell people, I know where I'm coming from, I know where I'm going. So when people come to me and they come with excuses, I feel like slapping you, but since I cannot slap you, I'll just tell you, my friend, shift and go. Because you've not been there. You never buy it to reach. So that was one thing that gave me that resolution that, whoa, come rain, come shine. I will not settle. Now, we from Lagos to require that we should move from Lagos to Port Harcourt. When we're planning to move, my husband said, you're not selling ice block. Yeah. In fact, I don't want to see freezer. I don't want to see anything. He didn't want a reminder of what I went through because he would like, no. So I moved to Port Harcourt. I said, okay, what business am I going to start now? I started my jewelry business and then later I opened the boutique and all of that. In 2014, was it 2014 or 2013? I was scared. There was a conspiracy in my husband's company then to get rid of him. So somebody that loves me from that company, one of his very close friends that is also a close friend of mine, came and told me. She said, look at what they are conspiring to do. Your husband out of the way. Some people now stood up against it and said, go, it's not going to work. This guy must stay. But you know what that thing did to me? I did not sleep. I said, Mogbe, so if this guy loses the job again, what the hell, forgive my language, am I going to do with my life? So at that time, my brain was going tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So when this business came at the nick of time. When Dr. ID introduced me, some of you may not know, Dr. ID was the one that actually introduced me to the business, because she has always seen me as someone who is working so hard. She and I just met. Her husband and my husband are very close friends. They have been for years, and they're like brothers. So when they were working together, Dr. ID came back from the UK, got married to the man, and then we became, sisters. So she just took me as her own, as her older sister. So we became close, and she relocated from that our estate in Port Harcourt to Rome. And she met her former classmate, SD Nifo, who has been doing language. So when she told her about language, Dr. ID didn't want to do it. But she said, there's a sister of mine that I know. She's always everywhere. And why am I always everywhere? Because of where I'm coming from. Because I don't want to go back there. So she said she's been restless about this thing, and she tried her hands on network marketing. It didn't work. But let me tell her about this one, because this one seems to work. So she told me that this one, with your effort, I think you can, do well in this one, even though she wasn't ready to join. And that was how I joined language. Well, long story short, she later joined me when she saw that it was actually good, and she came and joined. But when I joined, you know how a rock is falling from the top of the mountain? When you are falling from the top of the mountain as a big rock, huge rock, what is standing in the way? Motor, human being. The thing will be crushed. That was how I entered the language business. I entered the language business with my eyes closed, my ears shut. Like any opposition you're bringing, I'm stepping on it and moving to the next level. Because I'd seen people who started and it's working for them. So I'm like, if it will work for Luchi, if it will work for Madam Titi, if it will work for Deme, Inifo, I am doing it. So I went into it with red eyes, because it has got to work for me. Because where I'm coming from, I have younger ones to take care of. My mom is late. My father is retired. What am I going to do with all of that? Coupled with the father, I don't have kids. And I'm like, now you don't have kids. They will come at your old age. What will you use to take care of them? So that was why I was like running it. So that was what gave me that determination. Boss mom, in fact, boss grandma self, Naima, I don't pass mom. I don't pass mom level, na grandma level. Boss grandma. Is that enough for you?
I don't even know again. I'm numb. Like, I'm humbled. I don't know what to say. Sometimes when you see people celebrating, when you see people with what they have, you don't know what they've been through. Like, they deserve what they have. Whatever money anybody is helping you count now, they have no idea. Like, even I know I've heard your stories, but I've not heard this part. So I'm even like, how? Like, how? And you've not even told us, how you even struggled in the business, how you do everything. Like, you've not even gone there. And see, I don't know the excuse anybody has on this platform, but if you're already a member, or you're yet to be a member, you're a boss mom, yet to be a boss mom, and you're still, your own is, I don't know people. First of all, one of our speakers has talked about how she has over 10,000 members and she knows only about 20 people. So if your excuse was that I don't know anybody, they've crushed it today. They've crucified it on the cross of excuses, right?
Self-motivation and self-determination.
There is one cross, as the Zina mentioned, the cross of excuses, where they used to crucify excuses. So if your excuse that you do not cross of self-motivation. So if that was your excuse, you have no excuse. If your excuse is that you have no money, that is not even an excuse. That is the more reason why you should start. If your excuse is that your children, you don't have time because of your children, Joy has told you that having children is even the main reason why you should be on this platform. Yeah. And then if your excuse is that some people will be looking for excuses, they'll be looking for where to borrow excuses from. as the Zina has told you that you have not seen anything. And you don't even pray to see what she has seen.
Yeah.
Because if she has seen all this and she is who she is, as in we are literally aspiring to be like her right now. But many of us do not know where she is coming from. I don't know what other inspiration anybody needs in life, but this is it. Honestly, this is it. Zina, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Our next question, please take your time. We're ready. Please share your journey with us before you became a boss mom. I know you've already shared part of it, but there may be some things that you probably could not go into. And then tell us what future you see, the future you see ahead, what you plan to do.
Okay. Well, the journey to becoming a boss mom, part of what I just told you is that journey. And then the decision also to be where I would like my children to meet me was another motivating factor for me. Like I said, having not had children at the age when everybody else got married, my marriage just clocked 18 years on a few days ago, on the 16th of this month. We became 18 years in marriage. So, but my daughter came last year. She met us just before we clocked 17 years in marriage. So that's the age a lot of my friends are already turning grandma, or getting ready for grandma. So I didn't get married early anyways. And then getting married at the time, almost 30, and now waiting again, and then losing my son, and then continuing with the waiting kidney. It was so obvious that I knew that I would have children. I had always known that. And by having children, I wasn't going to just fold my arms and wait until I got pregnant. I need to ship this in. We had been applying for adoption since 2009, but it just didn't work. That was what we're looking at. So I knew that one day it was going to work. Tried adoption, tried IVF, tried all kinds of things, tried surrogacy. None of those worked until last year God smiled at us. So my motivation was, okay, my husband is already 51 and now I'm 47 going on 48. How old will I be when my first child will be 17 or 18? At what point do I want to now start working? Start taking care of, is it salary? Even if he doesn't want to resign, at a point they will tell him, "Oga, come and be going. You don't insist. You have to go." So I knew that realistically speaking, we would need, to plan ahead. And the salary is earning is not the type that, people don't plan ahead with salary. That's the truth. So multiple streams of income is good and all of that, but I'm asking myself, what kind of business do I want to be doing after 40 or when these children come? Now I'm at this age. So when they come, I would need to take some time off. Honestly, the way I run after my daughter, I'm sure the way you, Uche, were running after your first son, when he came, if you had another one now, that's not the way you run after him because time has gone. Now imagine me at my age, run after this very active human being, so you'll be tired. So there'll be no extra energy and all of that. So I ran my laundry business with that in mind, that a day will come when God will bless you with a child or children. When he or they come or she comes, you will need to take time away to be with that child. It will not be a situation where the child comes, you now start up and down traveling, and outsource the child to someone else. You have to be there. So I ran my business with that mentality. Work it now so that when the child comes, I will take time and attend to the child. Number one. Number two, when the child comes, the child will have needs in Naira and Kobo. When the child comes, he will need to spend money. Do you now want the child to come? You start calling people and say, sorry, the same milk is 15,000. I need money. After waiting for how long? When the child now comes, you don't have money to pay school fees, or you don't have money to pay, buy milk, you don't have money to do this and all of that. You start making excuses. So I just told myself, I need to be in a situation where I can take care of my child. Financially, I can be there physically, I can be there emotionally when they come, without being, shaking by, now I have children. Some people, when they have children, they start calling everybody. Say my wife don't born. Like it took you 9 months before she gave birth. You knew it was coming. They'll start calling you like it's a community project. My wife don't go, no. My wife dey hospital. Okay, well done. Congratulations, sir. Until we do dedication next week. Oh, well done. Go ahead. Until the dedication I told you about. In other words, they're just asking you for money. I'm like, now you enter inside, now you do the work. Why are you running away from it? So I didn't want that situation where the child would come and then I would start being in need. So I started working with that in mind. So the journey getting here, it hasn't been easy. Network marketing is not easy, but it is a sure way of getting to where you want to go. Some people think they just come in and then the next week they qualify for stuff. The other day, Joy shared a testimony, a video of where she and Oma went to do, August meeting. Trust me, there are people in this business who are even at home doing August meeting, but they will not open their mouth and speak the language business. They will not. But they want the results. When I started this business, it was 2014. I was living in Onne in River State. Now, Zoom was not there. All this internet stuff were not there. Instagram was not there. We don't have the internet as we didn't have it then as we have it now. So most of the things we were doing were physical meetings and all. For me to go for these physical meetings, I had to go to Uyo to understudy the people that I joined. As the need for lives in Uyo, I'm not going to be calling her to come to me to train me. So I would have to go to where she is to get trained. I've said this over and over again. I didn't even know my way. It was the Daddy that described it. I took paper, I was drawing map. Go here, turn right, go here, turn left, to go to Uyo. And I drove a brand new car. My husband had bought for me in 2013 to Uyo. The day I drove to Uyo, somebody was supposed to drive me and the guy disappointed me. It was a 2 hours meeting. Echido was supposed to train. That lady is Udemeza upline. She was supposed to train on compensation plan. And I wasn't going to miss that meeting for anything. Dr. Eddie was already in Uyo then. So she described it and opened our eyes. We're like, so this type of money they here, now here we live. So I did a lot of physical training. When I hear that people are traveling, I need to mention this, that Madam Titi is going to Owerri, or she's going to Port Harcourt, or she's going to Abuja or Lagos. I find money by myself. I enter motor by myself or enter plane by myself to go there. Now we have awards happening in different parts of the country. We didn't have so many awards then that we have now. How many distributors are planning to even attend the one in their city? On that day, they will have a burial. Very much sure someone will have a burial to attend. The person is dead already. He cannot wake up. He's dead. And he's not your brother. It's not your sister. It's not your brother. He's your colleague's auntie's uncle. See how far it is, but you must attend. But you will not come for training. It took a lot of sweat, money that I didn't have. I borrowed money from my husband to rent my office space. I didn't have money. As you are working in this business, I said, Diamond 3, you don't have money from the business language. No, because you're making small money. Diamond 3, Diamond 4, you're still making small money. So when we put back. Some of us had to borrow to upgrade to Diamond, to VIP. And then we say, okay, we're going to hug the product, sell it, or find something. Or you put it back in the business. That was how we grew. When I joined in 2006, I became a stockist in 2015, December. By 2016, I moved into my office space, January. By March of that 2016, I was somewhere in Akure, where I went for a training, a seminar. My staff called me. It was raining. She held up the laptop like this. Water was gushing out of the laptop. It had rained in my office. You know, I rented the office space during the dry season. First heavy rain that hit Port Harcourt fell in my office. There was a puddle of water everywhere. I came back. I begged the agent to move me to another office space. He refused. It was back and forth between me and him. It took us another 6 to 7 months before he could move us. But what happened was that my sales as a stockist plummeted down. You know, in real estate, people don't like climbing upstairs. So my office was 2 floors up and they were coming because of the training. So that will give us some, exposure to people buying products as a stockist. But when they stopped coming for training, because 2 or 3 times it rained heavily and the rain was so much in the office that we had to stop training. So people stopped coming for training. So as a stockist, I stopped earning because people were no longer coming as much. So my earnings reduced. This was somebody just coming into the business, trying to stand. As I was complaining about that one, MMM came and carried half of my team away. So I was not earning as a stockist. I was not earning as a distributor. I have stuff to pay. So any small money that came in, I will still pay them. Here is the sweet part. As I blackmailed the man so much that he gave me another space. And we moved to another office space in the same building. As we moved there, Governor Wike came and closed that Abacha Road. To make matters sweeter, he closed Abacha Road, saying he was working on it. It took more than a year. If you know anybody in Port Harcourt, ask them. So people were not coming to my office anymore. I wasn't earning. 2016, 2017, I am pretty sure that I went to bed crying more than 98% of my nights in those 2 years. I cried myself to sleep. My husband did not know. When we say good night, I face the other side. I start my cry. I cry, pray. I'm crying and praying to God for children. I'm crying and praying to God for my business. I'm crying and praying to God for so many things. It was just all over the place. I was begging God, this business that I've faced solely and fully, and I can see the prospects. You cannot let me down. My downlines did not know. As the doctor I did not know. My closest partner at that time in the business didn't know. My sister Ola did not know. My senior sister did not know. Nobody knew. My upline did not even know. Some of us, once you just face any small thing, you begin to castigate your upline, you begin to insult them, you begin to blame them. It will not become their problem. Ask him if I never called her any day to say, I'm not earning or I'm not doing. She may know, she may not know. As my upline, she can check, but is that what she will do with her time to be checking she doesn't have that time. Nobody has that time. So I wasn't earning. And I wasn't telling anybody. But I was everywhere. The small money that will come, I will plan myself with that money. I'm there. I was traveling everywhere, sharing room with rats in different hotels, crappy hotels, because I couldn't afford the good ones, building my business. So if you want to grow, you have to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't just think that you're coming in, it's all going to be rosy. I need to tell you the ugly part, so that you know the ugly part is there, the good part is there too. But why we stay on, why we build, is because of why we joined the business in the first place. And of course, because we stayed and built, it's better now. What if I had left then? I wouldn't be here telling you the story.
Wow. 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 That's all I can say. I can say more, but wow is like the only thing I can say to express what I feel and how I feel. Wow, you've really gone through a lot. And to think that you are still standing stronger than ever still amazes me. Like, I want to just forgive myself now for any excuse I've ever made. Like, I'm apologizing to myself and forgiving myself, and I will do better. Like, a lot of people are going through a lot. And It's not just about the business, personal life. There are people that would say, oh, I'm suffering. Oh, maybe I know people lose people lose things and all, but they stay down for too long. They allow themselves to be down for too long, and they may just end up dying there, down. But there are people who just get hit, they get knocked down, but they get up immediately and keep moving. As in, like, we move, you see them, you wouldn't know what they're going through. Just imagine not having an income, you're in a marriage, you're praying to God for a child. Like, what could be worse? The emotional trauma, no matter how strong you want to be, you would still break down. But you kept on pushing. And now you have a team of over 50,000.
We're almost 700,000 now.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry,
Now she
almost
has
70,000. Sorry, almost 70,000.
but that's a prophecy. That's a prophecy.
Yes,
But
yes,
a
we're
team
getting
of
there.
over 70,000, 70,000 with everything that could have been an excuse. Some will say, Mrs. Murphy, Ezizina, you will not understand. Are you sure?
I laugh.
Are you sure? Are you
I'm not
sure many people? Are you sure they will not understand? You want to try? Because a lot of people are going through a lot. Not everybody carries their struggles on their head. Not everybody carries that logo to say, I am suffering, I am going through a lot. They just keep on showing up. And many of the people you see succeeding and achieving a lot on this platform, if they open their mouth to tell you how much they have been through, the emotional trauma, everything, you will not believe it. So thank you so much for sharing your story from the depth of your heart. You can come and paint it all rosy and say, well, now God, you know, you can actually do that. I will still believe you. But you've given us your personal story and it means a lot to us. So thank you so much. Now, I'm going to ask you, how were you able to battle it all? How were you able to manage your time? Because I know that it's not just the Long Beach business. So I know you're also an author. I've tried my best to write. I love writing, but I've tried to write. My husband will say I have 1 million jotters. Every day I'm starting, but I never get to finish. So you're writing, you were going through a lot emotionally, you were going through a lot physically, your shop was not paying. Everything was just going like that, basketballs, let me use that word. But you were still bringing additional results. When I joined this platform, I know I saw you qualify for a 25 million naira car. So you were still doing a lot. You're almost a 3-star director. I know it's just something that is holding it, but you're a 3-star director. How have you been able to manage your time? Even now that, you know, our little baby is here and also it's like a new phase for you, but you're still shining, you're still doing a lot. So how have you been able to cope? They need to know, they need to hear this.
Number one, for me, qualifying for all those things, I must say that we were the first in my team to start the multiple qualifications. And we didn't even know how we got there. What happened was that we're looking at who will qualify under us. You know, I'm very close to Dr. Heidi. She and I sometimes will open the portal and we're checking. I think that was 2016 qualification that we're working on. She, myself, and Ola, we're just looking at who can qualify under this. Who is close. You know, so that was what motivated, that was what gave the result. I didn't even know. If you watch the video of the 2010, is it 2000? No, yeah. What year did I take my 2018? If you watch the video of 2018 car award, I had no idea that I qualified for 10 million naira car. I did not give my code to check. I didn't bother to check. I was only working with who is close. That was what I was doing. When they mentioned my name, because if you qualify, you will know before award. When I saw my name on the thing, I was like, no, that must be a mistake. They called my name. I was shaking. For me, it's about the people that are under me. I've seen, I need them to see. So qualifying for me is not, I don't wake up and say, I want to qualify 3 slots. I want to qualify. No, it's about pushing. And sometimes it hurts so much. There was someone that hurt me so much last year that I was helping her to qualify. I was helping her to the point that I even collected her stockist code, opened her portal. I was helping her to enter the PVs so that she could qualify. She needed small money. I even asked my husband to give that 500,000 that was remaining pay it into Long Beach account on her behalf. She didn't do her part. So it broke my heart because it was as if, yeah, you want me to qualify so that you can qualify. I don't know if that was it, but that was the way it looked to me, because that's the only reason I can give to someone that you are looking towards helping. to qualify, and the person literally sabotaged their own success. I mean, that for me is not about me, it's about the people under me. I am someone that is very highly motivated. I want a lot of things, but I can also be very content with what I am. I've lived in big, growing up, we're rich, we're poor. So I have experienced everything. So I can thrive in any situation. I can manage 1 naira. I can also live with 10,000 naira. So it's just about those people who are under me. That's my motivation. And when I call people and shout on them and push them, sometimes they take it personal. They feel like, why is she so involved? I want you to succeed. That is all. For me, that's all. All the money that Joy is packing, all the money that you people pack, you Uche and you maybe all the cars that you have. Did I even see the car? I've not even seen and touched the car. I believe when I go to Port Harcourt, Joy will come and pick me. Or anytime I come to Lagos, Uche, you will come and pick me. Maybe I'll touch the car. But it is you who is driving the cars. It's you who is enjoying it. So that for me is number one, for the people in my team to get it. Now, how? I did it by shedding weight. Shedding a lot of weight, not physically, I'm still fat, but shedding weight of other things that you're doing. I was very involved in church. I mean, those are the things that helped me stay sane, I think, when I was looking for a child. It's a lot. It's a lot. If you don't have something keeping you actively busy, you probably lose your head. You know, so I was very involved in church. I was in the youth church. I was a minister with the youth people. I was something women thing. I think I was secretary to the women's team. I was also in print media because as a writer. I was also in audiovisual. So I was everywhere. But when I started, you need to calm yourself down. Focus on, like I tell people, I'm a very realistic person and a very realistic Christian. Very realistic Christian. I looked at it. I knew I was going to succeed in this business, but I needed time. I tried it with everything. It wasn't working. So I went to my pastor. I said, sir, please, I want to drop responsibilities that you have given me. Some people called me Antichrist in church when they heard, how can you go to pastor? This dinner, you're a rebel. Not the way they don't call me. I said, yes, anything you like, call me. I just need time to build my business. I looked at it. If you were in church, honestly, and working as an accountant, you needed ICANN to back you up so you can bump up your salary. What will you do? You will leave that department. You will not go to church every Sunday. You will miss some Saturday. You will miss choir practice because of your ICANN preparatory class. If you want to go for PhD, you will drop some things in church. So now I want to grow my business. I cannot drop something in church. Haba, I went and dropped some things in church so that I could focus on my business because I realized that my fats offering will make more sense in church at the end of the day than all the going and coming. All of people going up and down, going up. Some people need to give money. Church needs money to survive. So I said, excuse me, let me go and work money. I did. So I shed a lot of weight from that. I shed weight from friends. If you're not in my business, well, there's nothing to talk about. Can't come to my house and sit down and be gisting from. I wasn't even that kind of a person because I was always busy. Before I joined on, I was always, in fact, one of my friends, she would yap me and say, you make somebody feel like they are redundant. Every time we come, you are needing, you are bidding, you are doing this, you are doing that. I will tell you, if you are coming to visit me today, I'm not disposed to discussion. I have 2 hours target to do my bidding. If I don't finish my set target for 2 hours, I will not talk to you. So I will hand you over the remote. I'll go to my studio and work. Agreed? For my close friends, they will come. Some will not bother to come. They say, you won't be with me. So shedding weight is very important. If you have somewhere you're going, you have to draw the line. You cannot, they say 20 friends cannot pay for 20 years. It doesn't work. It cannot be barako. Yoruba will say, I'm like, what? I don't like that term. Buy me shere at my age. You want to come and play with me? Come and sit in my house. I will be gisting. I don't have time for that. So you're either doing my business or you're not doing my business. So bye. So I lost a lot of friends like that. No regrets. Practice, I know they go. I don't go for burial. Don't invite me. I won't come. Unless it's very, very, very close to me. That one, I don't go. So I had to choose what I would attend and what I would not attend. If that wedding is not going to, I will not go. So shed weight. And planning is very important. All the speakers ahead of me said a lot about it. I won't dwell much. Plan your time, plan your, have your strategies that work for you. And then avoid negativity in this business. When you're growing a business like this, there are negative people everywhere. They are just waiting for one negative thing to be dropped in the chat room, then they will come and be clapping like this, like claps. Don't let them get at you. Cast them away. Really cast them away. We don't allow negativity. And then one thing I like to tell people is your why. If your why is big enough, you will climb any mountain. But if you don't have a why, it will not work. So work on your why. That why is very important. That's how you can grow a business on this. You have to have a big why so that you can make all of these adjustments around your life. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. That was amazing. If there is anything you did not take out of today's session, please just hold on to this one, shed weight. We're not talking about body fat, oh. That one is there.
It's good too.
But you see, a lot of people always feel very guilty.
Yeah.
You feel very guilty. And that also brings us to learning to say yes, learning to say no. Know when to turn things down. Everything is not for you. You cannot do it all. And it doesn't even, I know a lot of people, there are people that will say, oh, let me use an example. I have this dispatch rider. He was supposed to come and pick up items on a Saturday. And my clients were waiting. And when I called him, he said, Madam, I'm coming. He did not come. And when I called him the next day on Sunday, he told me, sorry, my pastor called me. We had emergency choir practice. And I was very upset. You had choir practice and you made my clients wait.
Can you imagine?
Now, I'm not saying it is not good to worship God, because many of us are too religious that sometimes we do not even realize that some things need to be dropped. We always pray, we're always praying for God to do this, God to do that. But God will bless the works of your hand. He will bless the work of your hand. So I always tell people, I'm sorry to go into this religious part, but your pastor's job is being in church. He's a pastor. That is his job. You have your own job. So you cannot leave your job every day and be sleeping in the church every day. You have to know when and how. Many of us are in organizations. They will give you, Ezinemama, leader of this, you will take. They will give you this, you will take. Sometimes say no, especially when you know that you have a lot to do, because the home may be suffering, the business may be suffering, so many things may be suffering. So we all have to get to that point. And that's what we're talking about, being a boss mom. You must know how to prioritize. You must know what is important and when it is important. So thank you so much, Esdizina. I was blessed by your session and every other person's session here. Honestly, I cannot live the same way I came. It is not possible. So I'm going to hand over to Dumebi. She's going to ask the last set of questions to everyone. And Dumebi, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Esdizina. Like your story, I've gone to, I've made a reflection of my life right now. I've asked myself a question. Those excuses you give, I don't like making excuses, but at times the excuses will just come. And now I'm asking myself, were those excuses actually, did it even make sense eventually? Like, couldn't you have done this rather than giving that flimsy excuse? Honestly, excuses are just make me understand that it's like I've just wasted a lot of my time. Thank you. So I've been writing, like my book is full. I've learned so much. Your story has given me a lot of goosebumps. I'm so grateful for your time, Esdizina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So my final question, I'll start with you, Esdizina. No. Okay. Let me start with Esther so that you answer the last question. So let me start with Esther. Esther, are you here, please?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Esther. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So what is your advice? Yeah, thank you. What's your advice for women out there that are thinking, is this for me? Can I make it? You know, people always have that question. Those are the questions that we may have asked to at some point. So what's your advice for them?
Okay, thank you, Dumebi. I really want to thank all the speakers. I enjoyed I was listening, I was learning, and I enjoyed Ezidina's story. It was very touching. I think that's the first time I'm hearing it. So, okay, my advice for every woman out there is that it's possible for you to be who you were created to be. God has made each and every one of us, and He has given each and every one of us something. We have all it takes to be the best we can be. And it's always good to be the best you. There's no point, there's no need competing or comparing yourself with the next person. What you need to do is to know yourself and then make sure you always strive to improve yourself, to become better, so that when they see you, people that saw you the last time, when they see you again, that they will know that something has changed. Keep learning, learn from people, learn from everything around you, so that you can become better in what you're doing. And another thing also is never give up. Don't give up. Whatever you're doing, even when it looks as if it's not working at that time, once you have your conviction and you know it has been working for every other person, especially in this Longbridge business, one thing that everybody should be comfortable or confident about is that Longbridge works. If it's working for the next person, that means it's going to work for you. If it's not working for you right now, there is something that you don't know that is making it not to work. So learn from those that are succeeding, that are getting something out of it, and then you will succeed. What I'm saying, don't give up. I've been in this business for long, and there were times that situations made me not to, I had to like sacrifice one thing for the other, but I was still at the business. I never left. I was still working from where I was, and I was still doing what I was doing because I knew that the business was good. I knew that it works, and so I didn't give up. So my advice for every woman out there is that don't give up. Keep pushing, keep learning, and learn to set your priorities right and do what you know you can do. With God on your side, you're going to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you so
much. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. Thank you, Dr. Ivy, for this whole Boss Mom series. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Esther. She said something, don't give up. There's a popular saying that goes around. I won't say it the way he said because it's not very, it's a bit vulgar, but they said, now who give up, lose. So when you give up, that takes you back to where you were before you started. Imagine you saying you have suffered for 20 years, I want to start making money. You'll try this for a few months and say, I'm not doing it again. It takes you back to those years of suffering. Thank you so much, Esther, for that. Do not give up. Chineye, please, are you still here? Let me see if she's still here. So you can unmute yourself. Okay, I'm not sure she's still here. So we'll go to Lady Joy. Joy, please unmute yourself. Okay, thank you. Thank you for staying with us. So our final question for you today, or our request, what advice do you have for every lady, everyone out there today?
Okay, my advice, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So my advice to every woman out there is for you to have the right mindset, knowing and believing and trusting God that definitely you will break even. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Another one is that know that our business is a strategy-based business. So you need to strategize. Applying the family and work. So you have to strategize. The next one is that until you decide to win, you cannot win. So the decision has to be there, the hunger has to be there. So it all boils down on you. So decide this night to succeed. I decided from day one that nothing will make me not succeed on this platform, and it's working out for me. And another thing I want us to know, that there is cultivation phase and harvest phase. At the time that you're cultivating, what do you need to do? You need to be patient. Some people will come on board this business and they will stay like for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they'll start complaining. I started qualifying at Diamond 5. From my Diamond 1, I didn't qualify 2, 3, but I was still, there's no promo that comes, I don't put in my best. At times it will remain small. I didn't qualify, but did that keep me down? No, it didn't keep me down. And let me tell you something. In fact, when I ventured into this business, what took me a longer time, when I ventured into this business, 6 months into the business, I went for an operation, eye operation. And that eye operation, my doctor said, don't do this, don't talk, don't do this, restriction for like 6 months. But I was still doing it codedly because the eye was already, my eye was on bandage. So I was basically using one eye to look at my screen, which affected me. But thank God for Berry Oil, he took care of it. So that is another decision I took. Take responsibility. Please don't blame anybody for your failure, and don't blame anybody for your success. When you fail, it all boils down to you. As he said something, that the car I'm cruising today, is she there? No. I didn't do anything. I wouldn't have gotten that car. So you have to take responsibility. Until you take responsibility in this business, you will not succeed. Yesterday, we came back from Imo State. Our mama, as you know, the place is your place, so where is inside to do what? Preach our language.
Wow.
Do you know that?
Yes, our mama, are you kidding?
Our mama, yes.
Wow.
That's
our mama, I know that.
I will pass the night. The women, they know about language, and we sold and we had sign up. We have up to 4 sign up, and we sold physical cash over 150,000 from our casual and the rest.
Wow.
So take responsibility, yes, of your business. And everybody can achieve success on this platform. Only if you do what you're willing to do, what to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Thank you so much.
Wow. Until you decide to win, you cannot win. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming upline. Stop blaming this person that told you about. See, this actually resonates in every area of our lives. When something happens, you blame. Take responsibility. Whatever happens today, you had a hand in it. You have a hand in it. And it's just something that I wrote. Say your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So whatever you want your future to be like, start planning towards it now, today. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, our SD, our 3SD, Zena. Yes, I'm already calling you 3SD. It's not a mistake. Okay, so we have 2 questions for you. First of all, once you okay, sorry.
But it's okay, so I can hear you now.
Okay, what advice do you have for women out there? And after that, we would like you to throw some lights on this platform we are talking about in like 2 minutes. Just let our prospects here know why we are so hyped about this platform and why it has changed. And like, is it possible? What platform is this that has changed all these lives? And I forgot to mention that the car that Joy is talking about is terrible. She tore the nylon.
Yes,
we saw the nylon here. So it's not just ordinary car, tear nylon SUV. So Ezina will tell us, will advise everyone out there, and she'll also tell us what this platform is. What's this platform that is changing lives like? What is it? I want to know. So they want to know. Okay. SD, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let me start with the advice, and then I'll flow into, I'll marry the two. Anyhow, just flow with me. I like to drop my 6-point agenda with people, So I'm going to do that, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the business language. Number one, I talk about why a lot. And if you had listened to my story, you understand why I always talk about why. Because that why is my strongest motivation, is my strongest pusher, is my strongest will. That why is what keeps me going, because I have a picture of where I want to retire. I have a picture of how I want to live my life. I have a dream. I have an idea of the kind of place I want to live. There are places, if you live there and invite me, I will not visit you. It's not because I don't like you. I just don't want to associate with such places. See, I've come to understand life in a way that where you are is a product of what you like. So you don't drag me down to where you are because that's where you choose to be. If that is where I don't want to be, I will not be. My husband used to have issues with that. I think he still does. There was a friend that invited us to come and visit them one time. We visited them. We drove down somewhere in Lagos, parked our car up on the road. These guys were living like down. We now started trekking. We trekked down to where the house was. I was like disgusted with the whole thing. I was complaining. My husband was like, you shouldn't complain. It's your friend. I said, it's my friend. Then they should act like people who know me. I would never live in a place like this. I questioned this friendship. Why would they live in a place like this? And the woman will always go, we're living in a 4-bedroom flat. We're living in a 4-bedroom flat. I'm like, I would live in a 1-bedroom flat in Ikoyi than live in a place like this. You choose where you stay. You just go and live anyhow because you want 4-bedroom flat, and then you have to, you can't drive the car to your house. I'm like, what if there's an emergency in the night? What if she's about to deliver a baby? Anyway, so that's story for another day. Choose your why. Who do you want to be? What kind of place do you want to go? I mean, do you want to visit America to go and stay in your uncle's, auntie's, brother's house? Or you want to go to America and you pay, like I did in 2019, December, I took myself on a self-holiday. I was staying in hotels everywhere I went. I only visited my in-law once in Denver, and I flew around to how many locations. With people living in America, they will tell you, if you live in Denver and you want to go to visiting, it's a lot of money. Some of them have never been to Denver. I went to New York, I was in Houston, I was in Denver, I went back to Houston. I stayed in a hotel, all the places I went to, and I stayed in very good apartments. And that's my money. I couldn't afford it before, but now I can. And why am I saying this? If you want that kind of life, don't let anybody tell you your eye too big. In fact, your eyes should be big so that you can see the good things of life. Small eyes cannot see big things. Grow big eyes so you can see big things and go for it. But you have to be ready to work, to match your mouth. Don't be that woman that all you want is, you want to go to America, you want to go to London, you don't have shishi. You will not be begging the man and worrying him and blackmailing him. He must buy you this, he must buy you that. I mean, you too, what will happen if you say, honey, I've paid for it, let's go. I mean, that also is good. There's no man here that will give that kind of thing that will not collect. So let's try to match up with our dreams. So first of all, you must have a why. That why will define who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to become. And very importantly, how do you want to retire? For those of you who are watching, who have not joined, you say you are busy, you are working, you have your active business. I want to leave you with a question. With your active business, the day you stop, how much will you be making? Unless you've grown your business to the level of Dangote and the Adenugas. If you've not gotten there, you're just doing this one-man business. The day you stop, your business will stop. And when you are 60, how much energy do you have? I mean, these people have grown their businesses years ago, and they are where they are. Even if they want to steal them, they can never finish their money. They have enough that they have stopped for themselves. Even if their children don't want to continue the business, at least they will keep something till they die. Have you gotten there? Or you are working, you say my job is good, it's paying me 8 figures every month. Fine. The day you stop the work, how many figures will be coming into your account? Or you say I work with the government, I have pension. They borrowed your money, it's not there anymore. In case you've not checked, there's no money for pension. There's nothing coming in. And even if they are paying you pension, it will not match your salary. So it's still going to be less than what you were earning. And inflation is going up. How much was a cup of garri last year? Let me say January this year. In fact, March. How much is it now? So the prices of things are skyrocketing and all of that. So it's telling you that you need what I call sustainable residual income. In fact, I call it sustainable, reliable, residual income. If you don't have something that can give you sustainable, reliable, residual income, you need to think again. This business can give you that. I took 1 year plus kind of holiday break to raise my daughter. She's 16 months now. I've not been actively involved in the business since she came. I've been doing the business, but not as I used to do. You guys know me, I'm always everywhere. How many places have I traveled to since you came? But I've been earning. In the heat of the pandemic, I earned the highest, 33M. In this house, I used to buy a house. Don't call me, I've spent it. It doesn't, the money is not in my hands. Say, send me 20,000, I don't have. You understand? What I'm trying to say is that in the midst of the pandemic, that is when we earned the most. When people are crying, a portion of the Bible say when they say there is a casting down, there is a lifting up. For people that have brain, that's why my team is called a common sense squad. Common sense squad is what? It is a team of people with common sense. Because if you have common sense, you will think and plan for tomorrow. I have lived in this life for 47 plus years, and I've seen people who were very rich, now poor. I've seen uncles that used to have 4 cars, don't have bicycles now. They can't even afford their 3 square meal. Now they are begging, they are calling us. Their children used to come in the village then, dressed in, Yibo, and we'll be looking at them like, I didn't get money. But now they can't afford anything. So that taught me as a child, early on in life, to always plan for my tomorrow. I'm not going to hang my boots and say, when I have children, they will take care of me. With children, my daughter is just 1. I'm 47, going on 48. When will she start working? But guess what? She earns more than some of you who are doing 9 to 5. Well, a lot of you who are doing 9 to 5. Because she's a Diamond 7. The account that I started building before I even met her, I've given her the account, and now it's hers. Before you know it, she will hit star director. Before she's 2 years old, she'll be a star director. At least, 3 years old, she'll be a star director. So what are you going to say about that? If you don't want to start this business now and grow, what then do you want to do? You want to keep toiling? Nobody here has said they resigned. Maybe is still doing her job. Joy is still doing her job. Tina is still doing her job. But they are saving their time for tomorrow by building this long-range business. Because a day will come when they will drop their 9 to 5, or the 9 to 5 will drop them if they retire with it. But there is something that will never end. The money that they have worked, the passive income that is going to be coming from this long-range business. That is going to be reliable, sustainable, and residual. After the work is done 10 years ago, you are still earning. The most thing you can do for your children is to work them to start directors. If you don't have a goal in this business, just tell yourself, I need to make all my children start directors. You can do that and then go to sleep. So that their Cambridge is covered, their Harvard is covered, whatever it is covered. So on this platform, we are achieving a lot. Things are happening. Some of you will say, oh, but you have gone far. Yes, this is I'm 6 going on 7 years on this platform. But the baby came in 2019. So people came in last year. The lady that spoke last year, Barrister Clara from the UK, she joined in the pandemic, during the pandemic, 2020. And today she's a Diamond 5. Don't even get me started on Joyce Olagere. That one has packed pounds and pounds and pounds. Next weekend, they will be having their event, UK event. If you don't watch that, just borrow sense, ask anybody to send you videos. Understand what is happening on this platform. Whether you say yes, you join, or you say no, you don't join, the train is moving. The question is, where will you be in the next 5 years? That your son that you're looking at that is 1 year old, in the next 5 years, he'll be 6. Do you know that if you register this business now with that son in mind and say, all I want to do is 5 years, let me build for my son, he will be a millionaire in 5 years. What other business do you do that can give your children money? Your job can never pay your children. If you retire, you retire. If they sack you, they sack you. If you die, you go. Nobody from your family is going to replace you. Let's say a man that worked so hard, became a PhD to attain a particular level in Shell, bam, death comes and he dies as a director. What happens? They will just send some money to the wife to say thank you for allowing him work. Goodbye. That is it. But you die in Longreach, your account is still running. Your children are still earning. This is a business of people with common sense. You don't need to sit down and wait for them to treat you into money. Money is sweet. The only thing you need to do is to switch your brand. Change the soap you're using. Change the toothpaste, pad, panty liner, body cream, mouth freshener, hand cream, everything you use, mosquito repellent, body wash, hand wash, all these things are available. Switch your brand, use them, and then tell everyone you know to do the same. Now, when you bring a few people, encourage them to do the same thing. When they bring people, encourage them to encourage the people to do the same thing. And when they keep encouraging, that is how it grows. You heard Mary Esther say, who said, Chinenye said she doesn't know up to 20 people out of 10,000. How many people did I know? Let me shock you. When I joined this business, my husband said, I don't like this line of business. Really, he knew that I was a hustler from day one. But when we got married, the first thing he told me was, this is one business you will not do, network marketing. He knows that I will do anything, but he said, this one, I agree, you will not do it. I agreed. When we started, anytime they say net, before they put work, my husband said I shouldn't do it. That was my excuse. But when life don't beat you up and down, and you see solution to your problem, you will jump into the river and swim. So when I jumped in, he now told me, you have gone there where I said you should not go. Promise me you will not speak to my neighbors. Our neighbors were living in an estate with Uibo and every kind of people. He didn't want me talking to people. Don't talk to church members. Don't talk to my colleagues. Don't talk to our friends. I agreed. I shouldn't talk to them because he didn't want us to have problem, because this type of business can bring problem in the relationship. So he didn't want any. After service, and I'm talking to anybody, he just find his way to stand behind me. So I'll just switch topic, But I told myself I will still do this business. I will get dressed, get in my car, drive on the road. Any woman I see that is well dressed, I'll pack, and if I ride, I'll talk to her. All I need is for her to say yes. She will take me to her family, her brothers, her sisters, her aunties, her uncle, her colleagues, everybody she knows. Even if there is no way, there's always a way. So that was how I started. Total strangers, I will sign them up, and from there, get to meet people around them. But that's why when I joined, I was mostly doing the prospecting for my team, the first people that joined me. Because I needed more people. I couldn't talk to so many people close to me because of the restrictions that I had. Until, in this business, you get to a level where nobody checks you again. When you get to that point where you are now earning well, you have an authority to speak. Nobody will start checking you. You understand? But that initial time, I knew that if I didn't, watch it, it was going to cause problem. And I had no authority to say anything, so I had to keep quiet. All I was looking at was my result, my result, my result. I need to get my results, because they say result cancels insult. Let me get my result so that I can have mouth. So you calm down and get your result, and then you have mouth. So I got the result, and of course I got the mouth. So this business is simple, is simple to understand, but you have to have a why. So dropping my 6-point agenda, I have always looked at, since I joined this business, I created it and it's helping me. Number one is why. You must know why you are joining this business. Is it for your retirement? Is it for your children? Is it for your health? Is it for your, holiday? Is it for traveling? There must be something. Jerry said her own is scholarship. When I joined, mine was traveling. It wasn't money, it was traveling. It wasn't brand new cars. I've been driving brand new cars. My husband cannot buy me second-hand car. It was my eye big. So it was for me, that's travel. Because he won't travel with me. He doesn't like traveling. And I don't like traveling with him. So I needed to travel with people. And I could get it for free without him paying for it. So that was what, motivated me. Number one, have your why. But of course, when I entered, I now saw that all my dreams could get actualized on this business. So that became my why. I am doing it for my children unborn, for my children coming to work, for my retirement, for my old age package. Why? Number 2, set your goal around your why. Don't just have your why and sit down. Don't come here and fold your arms. Give yourself a target. Set your goals with targets. Say, by so time, I will qualify for this. By so time, I'll qualify for that. You may not be here for the trips and the cars, but get them, because that is what will push you to where you're going. So set your goals around every promo that you must qualify. Have that your goal. And then number 3, be focused on your goal. Be focused on your goal because of your why. If you have a good why, you will be so focused on your goal. Number 4, determination. Be determined to focus on your goal. You know why I put that determination? A lot of people will come. Negative people will come. In-laws will come. Children will come. School, everything will come at you. You know, so many things will come to shake that your resolution to build this business. But be very determined that no matter what, back orders will come. No product will come. Stockist issue will come. When they come, how are you going to deal with it? Are you that determined? Are you somebody that any little thing that happens, you just say, I'm not doing it again, like you're doing it for someone? Determined to focus on your goal because of your why. Number 5, information. You need information such that you're getting now. Trainings. There's another training for my team members tomorrow. Will you be there? For new members, actually. Will you be there? Will you join? Will you make excuses? Some people, even Zoom, they will not click. All they need to do is just click. Somebody told me the other day she didn't join a Zoom meeting. I said, why? She said she wasn't feeling fine. I'm like, are you trekking to Zoom? You trek to get to Zoom. It is a click away on your phone. You don't even need to show your face. They don't need to hear your voice. All you need to do is to click, put it on speaker or use earpiece and listen. Only I'm not feeling fine. You see, village people, don't listen to things like this, and at the end of the day, you allow it to just pass. Next training, you'll be the first to sign in, and you sit down and you copy, and you have 21 notebooks, and you are doing nothing about it. Get information, use the information to build your business. You have to actually go out there, step outside your comfort zone. I don't like talking to a crowd. You have to set yourself up. You have to stand in front of the crowd and talk to the crowd so that you can now discover how to manage your stage fright. The only cure, somebody private chatted me the other day that she wants to grow the business, but her problem is stage fright. I said the only way to cure stage fright is by going on stage. You can only go on stage to kill it, otherwise it will kill your business. You can do online, but sometimes they will call you to come up and speak. So conquer it by determination. Get information, and then the 6th one for me is the God factor. It amazes me how people don't put God in this business. It's like when you are growing your business, you grow it outside God. And then when you go to church, you are so holy and so faith projecting. You believe everything they say. You sow seed, but you don't remember your business. You don't take your business away from what you're doing. Your business is the essence of what you're doing to give you money. God says he will bless the work of your hand. This is the work of your hand. And for him to bless it, you must include it in your spiritual journey. If God says, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, for those of us that are Christians, then why would you say, I've tried it, it's not working for me? What sort of a Christian are you? Don't be a disappointment to God's word. He has told you that if you try it, it will work. You believe it when you read it in the Bible, but when it comes to practicing, you now take it away from the context of your business. How then do you want to grow? This business is spiritual, very highly spiritual. I don't care if it's coming from China. It's affecting me. What is affecting me? It's affecting my whole essence as a Christian. And if I'm taking charge of my life, I'm taking charge of my business. So you have to bring your business to the point where you speak to it. Before you go on presenting, you talk to prospects before you go. You wake up in the morning, you say, today I want 750 PVs in my portal. I don't know how it's going to come, but you bring it. But when you finish saying it, you go there, you see a woman, you say, her eye is looking somehow. If I talk to her, maybe then you miss your 750 PV. So when you confess, you act. You do your faithful confession in the morning. When you finish boosting yourself, go out there and put yourself out there. Trust me, if you do it 3, 4, 5 weeks, you will master it. You will master it. None of us started this thing as pros. You will master it. It will become a part of you. I used to take buses and talk in bus. Taking a GIG, I spoke in buses just to talk to people. So you can do it. Set yourself up for good so that you can get there. This business is the absolute way for the future, because I've looked at other businesses. You don't know what will happen. When Corona happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of businesses folded. But this one did not stop because people were still using pad. They were still brushing their teeth. They were still bathing. So look at it holistically. This is the right way to go, but you only need to have a strategy to work your own business. So discover the one that works for you. If you're very if you are very savvy on social media, use it. If you are good at talking to strangers, use it. Wherever you find yourself, use that opportunity to grow your business, because at the end of the day, it is what you do now that will tell your income tomorrow. And if you're looking like me at reliable, sustainable, residual income, Longbridge is the only way I think you should go. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Esdizina. Thank you so much to all our speakers. You all have been amazing. We've been here for over 2 hours, and you know, it's amazing that more people are still online with us. We want to thank you all so much. We believe and we know you have been impacted. If this session means or meant anything to you, please comment 555, because 555 is where we are going. That's the goal. We all want to get there to the 5-star. This session is about moms, mom bosses, you know, moms in business. The whole idea is to inspire moms, to inspire women, to let you know that you are more. You can achieve whatever you set your mind to do. Do not allow yourself to be put in a box. You can do, you were called to this life to do so much more. You can be more, choose to be more. So one of our speakers said it is a personal decision to decide to be a boss mom. We're not saying you should be a nasty person, or because normally the idea of being a boss is a nasty person, someone that is bossy. But no, we're trying to change the narrative. We're trying to let you know that women, moms, can actually be more than just those housewives that will just not have anything, not have a say, just your life, your dreams, everything is just crushed. If you choose to be that kind of mom, it's your choice, it's fine. But if you know that deep within you, something keeps on fighting, like there is this unease, there's this, you always feel like you have so much more to give the world, but you do not know how to. Please, now is the time to reach out to whoever shared this link with you. Talk to the person, discuss with the person. I'm very sure they will find an answer for you. They will tell you what you can do, how you can do it. This platform, Longbridge platform, this is the platform that brought all of us together. We are all of different tribes, different races, different things, but this one platform brought us together. Our success stories mostly came from this platform as well. And we know that this platform can change your life as well. So whoever gave you this link actually loves you. The person is blessed. You are blessed to have that person in your corner. Only someone that loves you would want to see you grow to become more. So we hope to have you in our next episodes. We have an amazing lineup of, oh my God, of speakers. If you think you have seen it all, just create space in your heart and in your chest. Buy more handkerchiefs. Just get ready, because you haven't seen anything. Thank you so much, Dr. Heidi, for putting this together. Thank you to Maybe for co-hosting with me this night. Thank you, our speakers. If anyone has questions, we have so many comments, so we can't even start reading them unless maybe you guys would love us to. But if you have any questions for any of our speakers, please, even if you've commented before, just put it here so that we can just read them ASAP and then call it a night. Maybe do you have anything to add?
I have nothing else to add. Like I'm blown away. I have learned, I have unlearned, and I'm relearning. Like it has been an amazing session. I've learned a lot from our speakers. I don't know. I doubt anyone will have questions because I think everyone is practically blown away. I just see so many comments. I doubt we have any questions, but it has been a wonderful session. And anyone that gave you the link to attend this session really, really loves you. The person wants you to have a better future, wants your children in future to be better. So tell the person thank you and tell the person what do I need to do to enjoy these amazing testimonies in my life as well. That should be your next step. That is everyone that is not yet on the platform. That is your next step. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. Thank you, my SDs. Thank you, Dr. ID, Zina. We appreciate your presence here today. It has been fantastic. Thank you to all our speakers. It keeps getting better and better every week. I can't wait for next session. Like,
yes.
Fantastic.
I see Clara said some comments are worth reading. Unfortunately, I can see over 100 comments and our time has really gone. So please bear with us, forgive us if we cannot take the comments. We really appreciate you all. The comment session has been going on, like it's been going back to back. It's been amazing and it's been encouraging as well. So thank you so much, everyone. We love you. God bless you. Please unmute yourselves, say your good nights and your goodbyes for now, and see you next weekend.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank you, Good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.